What's up? Wow. You guys are hanging out with me 2 days in a row? Haven't you had enough of me yet? I don't know. I guess that's a question I ask my wife all the time. Somehow y'all will always answer, no, we're not sick of you just yet. We're working on it. Welcome, guys. It's another one of our Slant Alpha adventures, yet this one would be one that is not exactly a Slant Alpha adventure. We're Slant Limit today. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm talking complete gibberish to you. Well, that's a problem. But it's a problem that's easily rectified. If you go over to the link at the bottom left of your channel, well, it was just seconds ago on the bottom left of your screen there, and it'll be back in about 10 seconds. But that is the link to the Slant Alpha Adventures YouTube channel. And there is a playlist over there called VATSIM Tutorials. There you go. Now you can check it out. Playlist over there called VATSIM Tutorials, and among the tutorials that I've put together and posted there, like how to talk to air traffic control, how to put together a VFR route plan or an IFR route plan, how to read US VFR sectionals, some other pretty useful stuff. I've heard good feedback about the tutorials. People seem to like them. But among the tutorials that are over there is one that explains what we mean with all these navigation equipment suffixes. So when I say slant alpha or slant lima or slant golf or slant whiskey, slant uniform, those are the most common ones anyway. And you'd know that if you'd seen that tutorial. But go check that one out. That's actually one of the shorter tutorials. It clocks in at about 7.5 minutes if I recall correctly. Pretty quick and dirty and easy overview of what those navigation equipment suffixes indicate. So please feel free to go check that out. Probably prefer you don't do that now necessarily. Would rather that you hang out with me. I'm Hearsay is checked in. I'm Hearsay has redeemed a raffle ticket. Let's go ahead and get that taken care of right in here while we're sitting on the ramp with nothing much else to do, although I do have a bunch of stuff to do. We're going to talk about the flights that we're about to fly for you, but I'm going to go ahead and get this taken care of first. If I don't, by the way, if you ever redeem a raffle ticket and I don't do it right away, do not panic. The Twitch system keeps a queue there for me, and it won't let me deduct the points from you unless I've indicated that I have taken care of the action involved. So in this case, that action is giving you that raffle ticket. We run 2 concurrent raffles on this channel. You can enter one by virtue of cashing in 1,000 or 5,000 of those Twitch channel points, which we on this channel call alphabets points, down there at the bottom of the chat panel. 1,000 gets you 1 entry, 5,000 gets you 6 entries. Since we're not doing that drawing until the end of September, might not be a bad idea to save up and try and get that 5,000 threshold, get 6 for the price of 5. But you can cash them in however you'd like in increments of 1 or 5,000. Get an entry into that monthly raffle. The second raffle is one that we'll get 2 entries into for tonight. And those entries come with each of the stream's landings. Closest predictor to the vertical descent rate upon touchdown of the wheels to pavement gets an automatic entry into that second raffle. And again, we'll pull those winners on September the 29th, Wednesday night stream. Prizes available, Slant Alpha merchandise in just about every type you can imagine. Get to choose any one of those items, or instead, if you would like, you can choose a $25 Amazon gift card or a $25 xplane.org store gift card. If you miss out on September's drawing, don't worry, we do it every month. And I have a feeling we're going to consider doing the October drawing during VATSIM's Cross the Pond, which has just been announced this week. That will be taking place on Saturday, October the 30th. Don't know yet what featured fields will be in place for that event. That's something that we won't find out probably for weeks from now, 4 or 5 weeks from now maybe. If Dulles International is one of the departure fields, you'll see us controlling that day. If not, then we'll probably be flying. And typically what we do is we stream a couple hours of the departure, and then we take a midday break, and then we stream a couple hours of the arrival. But if we end up flying that day, we'll also turn that day into raffle drawing day. And part of the time that we're up at cruise with nothing better to do, since we'll be in a fully automated modern airliner that day, nothing to do for hours at a stretch. Boring. But we'll go ahead and do those drawings during that downtime in the middle of the across the pond flight. So that's some previews to what's coming up on the stream later on this month, and even a little sneak peek into next month. Let's talk about tonight, though. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about tonight. We are resuming the flight training series put on by the Boston Virtual ARTCC, the Traffic Control Center on VATSIM that covers the Boston region, which covers everything in this red polygon here, which is Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, a lot of upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and I think I've got all the major states in there. If I missed you and you live in one of those, I apologize. But Boston's ARTCC puts on a bunch of training flights that they call the Boston Virtual ARTCC Wings Over New England Series 6 VFR and 24 IFR flights that if you go through them in succession, then each one teaches some introductory procedure, and then each successive one kind of builds upon the skills and knowledge that you picked up in the previous ones, and so they get progressively more complex as you go through them. We've completed VFR 1 through 6 and IFR 1 through 15. We are starting today with number 16. We are at Syracuse. We are headed down to Boston. We are going to, in this particular training flight, RNAV arrival, that includes a descend via clearance. It's going to be the J fund. And then we are going to get assigned a hold. And then we're going to be performing an approach into Boston. Now, for Boston, I don't think we have to do the mist. I think the mist comes in IFR number 17. But this is a bunch of stuff basically about the descend via. Okay, so each lesson, by the way, you read through and it tells you exactly what you need to know in order to perform the flight successfully. And the test standards written over here on the right tells you what the controllers are going to be evaluating. Now, again, the controllers are not evaluating you based on your performance within the cockpit. They don't know what button you're pressing or what control surface you're moving. What they know is what they see on their scope. So you are, where your location is, what your direction and speed and altitude are, and whether you are on the route you're supposed to be on or not. Have you ever heard of VATSTAR? Dude, I was the chief flight instructor for VATSTAR when it first opened. And I wrote most of the training and testing material that they used from 2015 to 2018. So, no, never heard of them. Arestic, welcome to the channel. Yeah, I heard of them. I helped get them, in a manner of speaking, helped get them off the ground. Big Brian is here. How's it going, man? So anyway, the training and testing material here, again, goes through the descend via, and then they talk about the hold, and again, this is intended to be flown in an RNAV-capable aircraft that you can do a lot of the stuff with the FMC. There are alternate instructions. You can perform this in a non-RNAV plane. Obviously, you're going to miss the point of the lesson, but you can do it. They provide an alternate version of the lesson that you can do if you're non-RNAV. However, really doesn't, I don't think, capture what they're trying to teach here. So we're doing this stretch in the latter part of the series in an RNAV-capable plane. That's why we're in the Working Title CJ4. So let me just go over it again. Is it a good place to learn, Arestic? Absolutely. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased because, like I said, I was involved in it from 2015 to 2018. And it's changed some since I've been there. Of course, the VATSIM pilot ratings have been restructured since I was there, and much of the training and testing material that I wrote has been then adapted. It's not the original material that I wrote anymore. They've kind of shifted it around to meet the new curriculum and the new standards. But still an absolutely great place. A lot of great instructors over there and mentors that help you, kind of step your way up through. And the great part about VATSTAR is that it does offer that one-on-one interaction. And as a matter of fact, Arestic, I did my... So I had originally, when we had the first version of the pilot ratings, I had a P1 through P5 because you have to have the ratings that you're teaching to others. So I had to have those ratings in order to be able to issue them to other pilots as the chief flight instructor. When they restructured those ratings, under the new system, I had only the P1 and P2, and then there's also a P3 and a P4. I had recently done the P3 with VATSTAR, went back to my old stomping grounds and as a student this time, and did the P3 with the the person who basically took over my role as the chief flight instructor was my examiner for the P3. And so I recorded that flight, I posted it to the YouTube channel, and then we also did a night where we watched it back on stream and kind of critiqued it as well. So both of those are up on the YouTube channel. So you can definitely check that out if you'd like. But no, VATSTAR is a fantastic organization. Got some stream action there. Papa Charlie says, yeah, you must have got a nice bonus. That's a nice looking rig. Well, I'm the pilot. I'm not the client. I can't afford to just fly around with this thing. I have to fly it for hire. No, I'm kidding. We got that follow from Arestic as well. And Danish beer. Danish beer or bear? No, it does say beer. Danish beer. Hit the follow as well. I love that CJ4 from Working Title, says Big Brian. And agreed. Let me just make sure. So it's mostly talking about the descend via. They do talk about the published hold here, which you might get the one at JFund, or you might get the one at Seats. So you do have to kind of be aware of this and the constraints within that hold. And I think that is it. I don't think you're going to do the mist on this one. I think we do the mist on 17. Some key points that when you check in with a new controller and you're descending via the arrival, as you check in with a new controller, you give your current altitude and your target altitude. Well, in this case, if you're on a descend via profile, you have a bunch of target altitudes along the path that you're taking. So in order to say that concisely, I'm at flight level 245, descending via the JFund 4, JFund 3, whatever it is. So that way you've just told the controller that you intend to hit all the target altitudes on the way down, and they do need to know that when you check in. So instead of like you're descending through 9,000 for 4,000, I'm at 9,000 descending via the blank arrival. What else? Oh, and at the end of the star, it's very important that you maintain the heading that the star indicates and don't just automatically start the approach. You're going to, a lot of folks have a tendency to input the star and then they input the approach, and then there's a discontinuity between the two, and you erase that discontinuity and you just connect the end of the star with the beginning of the approach. Well, that's all well and good as long as you then remember to put the plane into heading mode and maintain that outbound heading as it's depicted, instead of turning onto that approach before you're cleared to do that. What I recommend is just leave that discontinuity there. It's not going to hurt the plane. It's not going to stop in midair. It's going to keep going. And you want it to keep going because that's what the star says to do, is keep going out in that direction until they give you the clearance. Yeah, discontinuities are not instantly something you have to remove. Indeed, says Aero 737, and I agree completely. Now, when you're flying solo without human air traffic control, and you're not flying in a multiplayer setting, sure, remove all the discontinuities. But when you're flying in a cooperative setting with other traffic and air traffic controllers, that discontinuity is intended. It's there on purpose. You're supposed to just continue off into oblivion until they turn you. So that's exactly what you should be doing, and that's what the FMC should depict. All right. So we are going to be given a hold. Yeah, the missed approach stuff and the hold entry is all kind of covered in the next lesson, but I think that covers the gist of number 16. We'll go back to the flights page. And this is what the route looks like that we're going to fly. It's the Syracuse to Boston via the Syracuse 2 departure. Here's the airport diagram. Let's go ahead and get the Syracuse 2 radar vector departure up in front of us as well. It's pretty simple. It's essentially runway heading until you're vectored. Initial altitude 4,000, so you don't climb through 4,000 until you're told. Not too complicated there, but you do need to know, A, runway heading until told, and B, 4,000 and no higher until told. But it's the Syracuse 2, Syracuse, and then Tango 608, which is an RNAV airway. And then it's to this point Maria, then direct to Ponct, and then JFund 2 arrival. Now, what's going to make this extra tricky today is, I don't know if you've heard, but there's a storm brewing. We're going to hit some weather here, guys, and possibly some icing conditions. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Now, the CJ4 does have pretty good anti-icing capability. So we'll see. We'll see how we see how
It's
we do.
finger licking good.
Gonna go ahead and give it a shot, guys. We're gonna go ahead and take a stab at it and see what happens. Worst case scenario, we crash a plane and we have to redo this one. Good Fixins is here. Says, I'm catching up on those wing slides. I've now done VFR 1 through 5 and IFR 1 through 4. Very cool, man. It's a great series. It's a great series. And the beautiful thing about it is that each one physically takes over where the last one left off, in addition to procedurally and conceptually. So if you fly it in succession, each new flight starts where the last one ends, and you end up with a nice tour of all of the large and small airports within the Boston virtual ARTCC airspace. So it's really nice, nice program on multiple levels there. I've yammered on long enough. We want to go ahead and get started and get into the plane and get this thing fired up and get going. All right, inside, yeah, it's a little less windy in here. That's good. All right. Let's see. We've already set the fuel and payload, and I'll go over those numbers here when we get to the FMC here in a minute, but let's go ahead and get the battery switch on, and the emergency lights armed, and the standby, emergency and standby display. And we get the avionics down into dispatch mode, which is just a battery saving mode. Nav and logo lights can come on. Since we are operating off of the aircraft battery, we're not connected to any ground power here. So we'll just do this route entry stuff as quickly as we can, and then we'll fire up the number 2. It's sort of like we do in our DC-3. We'll fire up the number 2, and that'll kind of act like our APU as well. Let's initialize our position in the FMC. We'll just kind of pop the GPS point down into the current place, and nothing else needs to be done there. We can, where's clear? There it is. Oh no, okay. COM 1 mic switch is already activated. We can turn the COM 2 off. Wait a minute. We want that volume up. COM 2 volume can stay down. All the rest of those are down. Marker beacon can be shut off. So let's just verify on vPilot. Yeah, we are transmitting and receiving only on COM 1, so that's good. That's what we want. Let's file our flight plan. I have not done this. Normally I do this before the stream starts, but I didn't do it. I don't do it for these because I like to show you exactly what we put into these flight plans for the Wings Over New England series. K Syracuse. We're going to KBOS. I've chosen an alternate of K BTV Burlington just because it's north and west of most of that bad weather, it appears. We're going to try and get off here by about 7:45, so 23:45 Zulu time. Current Zulu time, by the way, is at the top. If you ever aren't sure what the Zulu conversion is, just go off of that. Time en route for this one we think is going to be 0:48, 0 and 48. Fuel available, we're going to put 2 hours and 51 worth in the tanks. Cruise true altitude, cruise true airspeed is going to be 450 at 25,000 feet. We are slant Lima today. We put the route in here as Syracuse Tango 608. Now we're going to automatically be assigned that Syracuse 2 radar vector departure. So it is going to be Syracuse 2 departure, radar vector Syracuse, then is filed. Maria. Also might be radar vectors to join Tango 608. We'll see how the controller says it, but basically, point is that we're going to automatically get that Syracuse 2 departure, even though we didn't include it explicitly in our filing. JFund to arrival. All right, so Syracuse Tango 608 Maria, punked JFund 2 is all correct. And then the other thing that you always want to do is wings IFR 16. And then whatever other information you have in there. Whatever other useless information you have in there. All right, get that filed, get that out of the way. Actually, before we get that out of the way, we don't have an ATIS running at Syracuse, so let's just go ahead and pull a METAR observation here, KSYR. I just like to do this right through the pilot client. 010 at 5, so it's a northbound, I'm sorry, it's from the north, a northerly wind from the north, 010. So we want the runway most closely aligned with runway 1. We'll talk about runway selection here in a minute. Few clouds at 7,000, broken at 15, broken at 22, so nothing too detrimental wind-wise. Temperature's 19. 29er 86 is what that says in the altimeter. So we'll take note of those. 19 and 2 Niner 8 or 6. We're gonna have 2 Niner 8 6. Did I just say 8 or really? 2 Niner 8 6, and we'll get that into the FMC at the appropriate spots. All right, COM1 frequency is 34.7. I know. The whole 8er thing was quite the channel meme a little bit ago. 34.7, so we'll come down here into the tune menu. 134 7er. Pop that in top.
Of course. American 223, I can give you something better than that.
Obviously, that's
leave my airspace shortly, and New York Center is offline, so change to advisory. Frequency of the approved radar service terminated.
Go back to the checklist here.
Frequency change is approved, and we will do that on our own.
Let's go ahead and grab our clearance here if we can.
Yep. Boston Center, good evening. UPS 203 Heavy with you, passing 26 for 330.
So bear with me for a second as I try to get a word in edgewise after
UPS 203 Boston Center, good evening. Squawk 4642. Roger, squawking 4642.
Boston Center, Citation 514 Delta Victor's on the ground, Syracuse with weather IFR to Boston Logan with wings IFR 16.
Number 514 Delta Victor, standby, clearance request number 1.
No, that's fine. All right, while we're waiting on that, there are some things we can
roll
on through and do. So we're waiting for the clearance, but we can go ahead and start setting up the flight plan in the system anyway. We'll just go ahead and punch it in as though we're going to get our route as filed, but if we do need to fix it, if it gives us a reroute or whatever else, we can come back and make those adjustments. So Syracuse to Boston, departing and arriving via the Syracuse tier.
Cleared to Boston via the Syracuse 2 departure, radar vector Syracuse EOR, then as filed. Maintain 4,000. Departure with me, squawk 4706.
All right, clear to Boston Logan, Syracuse 2, radar vector Syracuse, then it's filed. Maintain 4,000. 134.7 at 4706, 514 Delta Victor.
Number 514 Delta Victor, read back correct. You can expect runway 33 advisory for taxi.
I expect 33 calling if you 514 Delta Victor. I was just going to ask him that. So if the wind's northbound, 33 is obviously more northbound, so that works for me.
FedEx 1454 Heavy, welcome to Providence. Where are you parking?
So we'll pop that into the route. And hold on.
FedEx 1454 Heavy, taxi to North Cargo via Mike. Have a good day.
And next page.
North Cargo via Mike. Have a good one.
2 Niner 8 or 6, right, exactly.
So
after the Syracuse is then Tango 608er. No? Syracuse Tango 608. Well, let's go back and make sure. Okay, so Syracuse 2, vectors to nowhere. That's what it is. So now we'll go just direct. Clear. Wait a minute. Did it say? I think I might have missed the 0 there. No? All right. Fine. So it's radar vectors to Syracuse. Yeah, the one in the U.S. Then it's Tango 608er.
Last year I'm calling, say call sign only. Tango 1.
There we are. Maria!
Boston Center, good evening. On departure flight, runway heading, winds.
I just put a point named Maria. Punked P-O-N. And suddenly I found there's raindrops all around. J-Fun 2. Alright, so arrivals. J-Fun 2 from Pumped.
012 Boston, I believe I am now in airspace.
Yep, you can just go ahead and monitor.
And we don't know what runway. We don't know what runway yet, but we can take an educated guess here.
Copy, monitoring.
And Flare 827, I just want to verify, what's the code for your arrival airport?
ILS 4 right in use, so that, I mean, we don't know that that's going to stay the same, but we can kind of just take our educated guess and say that's what we're going to get. From Goshi, I think it said in the, lesson material. You want to do that from Goshi. Let's look. 16.
Uh, 4426, turn left heading 110 vectors for the approach, descend maintain 3000.
Pretty sure it says something about Goshi. No? I made that up. Alright, well. Let's unselect Goshi then. Sound commands are not working. Why aren't they working? Well, the buzz one is real subtle. But I think,
I love to sing about the June and the June and the Springer. I love to sing about a sky of blue or a key.
the singer probably didn't trigger because it was, I think there's a 60-second timeout after you do one. But the buzz one is really, really subtle. Probably need to pump up the output volume on that one. Yeah, sorry about that. As a mod, you should be exempt from those timeouts, but I don't know how to do that. Let me see. We need to get this, up and running here. So ILS4 right, not from a transition. If we need to, that's just a placeholder for the approach. You know, we might decide later that we're going to do a different approach. We might decide later that we need one of those transitions on that approach. I'm just putting a best guess in, or kind of a placeholder in, to the route for now. All right, let's look through the legs. There is a discontinuity. We were talking earlier that we're not going to go direct to Syracuse. However, I'm going to account
4426, turn
for that discontinuity.
Right. Give you some more room to descend.
20 right, green at 4426.
Hold on. Okay, I'm going to account for that discontinuity by the fact that I'm going to be in heading mode when I first depart. So I'm not going to let the FMC take me directly to Syracuse until I'm told to, but I'm going to start the departure in heading mode. Now, at the end of the star, after Joby, there is a discontinuity before the approach, and that I'm going to leave in there because I don't want the FMC to turn me directly from the end of the star to the beginning of the approach, as we discussed earlier. So that discontinuity is going to stay right where it is. Other than that, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and step through the route in a moment just to look and make sure that it looks okay. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and say
DHL 977 Heavy ready to taxi from the cargo ramp.
That it's good to go. Let's go ahead into
and DHL 977 Heavy. You can go ahead and contact the tower 12818.
And
1288, thank you, sir.
We're going to select a cruise altitude of 25,000 feet. I believe you can just put in 250. Yeah, exactly. We are going to enter some passes. It doesn't really matter the numbers here. I just know that I loaded the plane right up under the max gross takeoff of 17,000 and change. So we're going to just make sure that the total matches 17,000 and change. So what do I need to add there? 2,500 in cargo? 17,020. Yeah, that's going to be close enough. Takeoff, the outside air temp is 20. Pop that in there, and then we'll just hit next. The V-speeds all look good. 108, 109, 119, and 140. We'll go ahead and send those to the primary flight display. And that is done. All right, now we've drained enough of battery. Let's go ahead and get the number 2 engine fired up. We're going to pop that into run. We're going to go ahead and hit the starter. And we're going to come up here, and we're going to watch it go into its startup mode. There's nothing else we need to do. It's going to automatically, when this gets to 12, it's going to automatically hit the ignition. There we go.
4426, maintain 2000 to 1000 localizer, cleared ILS runway 6 approach.
2000 till established, cleared.
Should have gotten the beacon light on. I guess that would have been a nice thing to do, let everybody around us know that we're going to start an engine. So you always want to put the beacon light on first. When that stabilizes at around 50, maybe slightly above 50, and this should stabilize right around 25.
FedEx 554, heavy.
Good fixings. Yeah, the VNAV in this plane works perfectly. Nearly perfectly.
28.8 on the tower.
All right, nice and stable. We'll go ahead and get climate control on. We'll get the barometric pressure set. What did we say that was back from the METAR? 29 or 8 or 6. Get the avionics on. So there's 29, 8 or 6. And we'll set it over here in the standby as well. Ground elevation here it's at Syracuse is 421. That's almost dead center to what's being read on the display here, so that's good. Our squawk code was 4706, so we'll come back to the tune page, and we'll enter that in, 4706, and we'll go ahead and get transponder into TARA mode. I like having this on plan mode. We don't yet need the terrain radar. Although I don't know if that's a radar technically or if that's a GPS-based terrain system, but just in case it's a radar mode, we'll go ahead and turn it off. I think it's more of a GPS-based terrain map, but we'll go ahead and just leave that off for now. We'll turn that on when we turn the weather radar on our taxi out. Let's see, we'll set the map range just to whatever makes sense for the distance. I like to just be able to see the first handful of points, and then we can go ahead and hit MFD Advanced down here, and we'll hit Next a bunch of times, and we'll kind of just double check that everything looks as it should. And then, yeah, even though we have put in, let's zoom the map in just a little bit here. Yeah, even though we have put in an approach, yeah, we'll go next. Yeah, so that.
4426, wind 080 at 10, runway 6, clear to land.
So again, this is the discontinuity, guys. After this point, Joby, you're supposed to just keep going. You don't want it to just automatically turn onto the approach before you've been cleared to make that turn. So that's why you leave that discontinuity in. You want to keep going because that is bad, and this is good.
TBM 1 Tango Delta, you're clear to Nantucket via the Hanscom 2 departure, radar vectors Bruin, direct, maintain.
Step that ahead a couple.
Hanscom 3 departure, radar vectors Bruin, then is filed. Maintain 2000, departure with me, squawk 4625. Yeah,
exactly. We don't want the radar terrain system on now. We don't want to fry the ramp guy. That's right, exactly. That's why I turned that off. Bands Badgers here. How's it going? Go, Chris, go with the follow. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you being here. So.
TBM 1 Tango Delta, repack, correct. You can expect runway 5 today.
Let's go ahead and get the. So this is what I like to do. I like to have the secondary display in the north up. This is not an aircraft following mode. We'll have to manually step it forward every so often. And then this I like to have in the track up mode to kind of see where I'm steering. And I'm going to actually turn the map range down just a little bit because I want to be able to see how I'm intercepting that point on the departure. All right, what else we need to do here?
Boston Center, Blue 5374 on the ground at Albany, picked up clearance for Washington National.
Initial altitude was 4,000. So we'll go ahead and get that set, the altitude knob over here.
5374 Boston Center, standby clearance request.
4,000, and on 33, the initial heading was 330, I believe it was.
CBM 1 take up the ready taxi to runway 5.
330, yep.
CBM 1 take up to runway 5, taxi via
And so, like I said, we're going to start this in heading mode, and that way we're not automatically turning to that Syracuse VOR until we're cleared to. So we're going to just make sure that heading mode is what we engage. 330. Okay. Alright, where else?
5374.
Safety and seatbelt lights are going on.
Departure. Freighter vectors Pauling VOR. Then as filed.
Climate control can come off.
4621.
We're going to go ahead and get the number 1 engine up and running.
Climate at 4,000 feet. Spark 4621, Blue 5374.
District 5374, read that correct. Call for the push.
By the way, while we're waiting for that engine to spool up, we can kind of pre-brief our taxi routing. We're departing on runway 33, and we are parked at this ramp down here, so I'm expecting eastbound hotel, November, Yankee Mike is what I would expect as a taxi routing. Hotel, November, Yankee Mike is what I expect. Let's see what they say.
54 heavy, 7 miles from Milt, maintain 2000 until established on localizer, clear ILS 24 right approach.
Alright, so starters kicked off, engines are stabilizing, status panel, all warnings have disappeared, we can turn climate control back on.
Runway 1 for departure.
If we hit system twice, we'll see the flight controls. Now those little arrows don't move like they're supposed to. This is just an exercise in imagination for right now, although I expect fully that the working title team will complete this panel at some point, but for right now it's just there for decoration and imagination. But we'll just consider our flight controls having been checked there. Flaps we've set to 15 for departure. We'll check that indicator, make sure they go into 15. Takeoff trim should be at the very bottom of the green range, and it already is. We'll go ahead and start our passenger briefing since it is kind of a long one. We'll go ahead and get that running now.
Center for X45 heavy, follow with 320. X455 heavy, Boston Center, good evening.
We've already briefed the taxi routing. Pitot and static can come on. And taxi light can come on, and we'll go ahead and let our controller know we're ready to get rolling here. One last check. Nope, there's still no ATIS here at Syracuse. Which way are we facing? Are we facing south? Okay, so we need to kind of come over our right shoulder in order to not run over this guy here, and then get turned around facing north. Center citation 514 Delta Victor, Syracuse, ready to taxi.
Please ensure that your lap belt and shoulder harness are fastened and all portable electronic
Number 514 Delta Victor, runway 33, taxi via Alpha Mike, cross runway 28 on Mike. Report ready for departure.
Alright, we're actually at the southern GA parking, I believe, off of Hotel 3.
Place the flat metal end into the buckle.
Oh, that makes life easy. Alright, November 514 Delta Victor, runway 33, taxi via Hotel, November Yankee Mike. We're ready to go.
Okay, Hotel November Yankee Mike, and we'll report ready 3354 Delta Victor.
FedEx 50, correction, FedEx
Sir Skidmore, how you doing?
Tower 128.8.
I haven't seen that name pop up in here in a while. Alright, so we should be going eastbound on Hotel.
Was that FedEx 554 for the Boston Tower?
In the event of cabin depressurization, oxygen masks will automatically drop from overhead compartment. Locate the nearest.
And last pair of calling again?
That meant FedEx 554, you said 554.
Yeah, my apologies. 554 connect to Tower 128.8.
Sir Skidmore says I got moved to a new team at work and been crazy busy. Well, it's good to see you back here. Hope everything's well. We are going eastbound, right? Yeah, we are.
CBN 1 Tango Delta on departure, fly runway heading wind
plastic.
Oh, Sir Skidmore just started the Wing series. Awesome. It's a great series. Anybody, and especially those of you who are new to VATSIM, the Wing series is a great introduction to VATSIM because it kind of really, if you read those lessons in detail, they really go over everything you need to know, including kind of the standard things that you need to expect for communications. Skidmore says, I've done the first 4. Are you using the default 152, or are you using that JP Logistics 152 mod? I was super mic shy online. It's been a great confidence booster, says Sir Skidmore. And don't overlook, by the way, guys, you are using that mod. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Don't overlook, guys, I also have a basic tutorial on my YouTube channel for kind of the broad basics of ATC communication. So YouTube link there at the bottom left of your screen, and a playlist called VATSIM tutorials. So that's another resource you can use to kind of get an idea of how ATC communication works if you're brand new to it. One thing we probably should have done before we really got out onto an open taxiway is a little bit more of a thorough brake check to make sure that the brakes work. Okay, we're good there. Now we can go ahead and get the weather and terrain radars on. So there's the terrain. Let's go get into weather there. And then we'll get the secondary flight display into the terrain radar.
And Seabird, Christian, yeah, Seabird 634. Did you have anything programmed after
departure frequency is indeed preset because we are already talking to the controller who's handling departure. And remember, 4,000.
The first transport is away.
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. We're getting there. Uh-oh, Sir Skidmore on the first attempt of VFR4 busted the Nashua Delta, had to redo it. My napkin math of the class Delta off of Manchester VOR was wrong. Yep, it happens, man, it happens.
Seabird 634, it's going to be
it's all good.
You turn right heading 230.
Alright, so down here at the end of Yankee now, we'll make the right turn on the mic. Dave Rendon is here.
And November 2884 Delta. Bridgeport is a Class Echo airspace, so you can depart however you'd like, and then give me a call in the air if you want service.
Alright, holding short.
Boston Center, Cessna November 2089.
We'll give him a call.
Syracuse, information Oscar ready, copy IFR to Boston. And that aircraft on the ground at Bridgeport, that's not my airspace, that would be New York, and they should be offline. You can try giving LaGuardia approach a call and see what happens. And yeah, LaGuardia doesn't even cover that, so unfortunately you're going to be on their own. And Center for Flare 27, did we miss handoff by any chance? Yep, Flare 27, you're in my next call. Connect Moncton Center 132.2, good day. 132.2, Flare 27, thanks, have a good night.
Controller's a little busy.
2122, turn right heading 300, vector final.
We are not going to stress over getting airborne like super promptly
right
here.
Turn 300.
Right to 300 for Delta 2122.
Boston Center, Shoreline 22. And Shoreline 22, Boston Center, go ahead.
Good evening. We're on the ground at Mount Washington Regional at Hotel Indio Echo. We'd like an IFR.
Dave says did a real world flight yesterday. Got a little video. Next time I stream it, I'll share it. Awesome, bud. Looking forward to seeing that.
Number 1, break November 1, Tango Delta. Radar contact. Looks like you went through the 2,000 altitude. Climb maintain 8,000. Climb maintain 8000, 1 Delta.
Boston Center, good evening. Golf Mike Delta India, just out of Boston, 3000.
Golf Mike Delta India, radar contact, climb maintain level 280.
Climb maintain 280, Mike Delta India.
The center citation 514 Delta Victor, short of 33 at Syracuse, ready.
TBM 1 Tango Delta, turn left heading 090. I show you turning towards traffic. Left heading 090, 1 Delta.
Boston Center, Blue Street 5374, we're ready to go.
Blue Street 5374 on departure flight runway heading.
So Bismo is talking about a user on Twitter that is doing a memorial of sorts via retweet for those lost over in Afghanistan. Yeah, worthy cause, guys. Do check that out if you get a chance.
Boston Center system number 2089 on the
Might have missed our window to jump in there.
Delta 2122, my apologies. Right turn 070, jungle localizer.
Roger, just calling you. Just wanted to make sure you wanted me to intercept. We're intercepted now for Delta 2122.
Delta 2122 to 17 2000.
Down to 2000, 2122.
Center citation 4 Delta Victor, short of 33 Syracuse, ready.
Citation 514 Delta Victor on departure flight runway heading wind 030 at 5 runway 33 clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 33 runway heading 514 Delta Victor. Alright guys, here we go. Visual check, nobody on final, nobody downfield.
Boston Center, Cessna November 2089er. Delta 2122, 6 miles from Milt, maintain 2000 till South on
And there we go, it's going to be heading mode and flight level change. Autopilot heading, flight level change. Alright, advanced throttles, engines respond normally symmetrically, no warnings. Pop it into takeoff, here we go.
Manchester, direct.
Oh, and we'll engage toga mode on the flight directors as well. Should have done that as we were taking the runway. It's done now.
Okay, clear to march to the
There's V1,
maintain 6000.
V2 and rotate.
Shoreline 22.
And pitch up. Maintain about 140, gear come up. Autopilot, heading, flight level change.
Correction on your clearance, maintain 10,000. Then other than that, reback correct, advise number 1 ready for departure.
10,000, hold for release, we'll call number
1. 1,000, go ahead and get the flaps in.
Tango 1, you leave my airspace, near center close, rear service.
Are we in heading mode? Yep, okay, and now we can increase to 240. And we'll go from climb mode to takeoff mode to climb mode.
Turn right 150, 1 Delta. Delta 2122, contact the tower 128.8.
Over the tower on 128.8.
Number 514 Delta Victor, radar contact, altitude indicates 3000, climb maintain for level 250.
Alright, we're 3,400 going to flight level 250, 54 Delta Victor.
And what was going on with that blue streak at Albany?
We aborted takeoff Victor onto Charlie. We had a key tax this morning, some plane about 2 miles off the end of the runway.
Yeah, I'm showing nothing there. Let's see here. Do you want to just go back and try it again?
Yeah, we have enough fuel. We go again. Blue Street 5374.
Okay, so now the FMC has us going Syracuse to Stoda, and we're still on runway heading though. So we'll wait until he gets back to us with a heading.
TBM 1 Tango, actually discard, a couple more miles here.
Boston Center, FedEx 987 with you, flight level 300.
FedEx 987, Boston Center. FedEx 987, squawk 4660.
4660 on the box, FedEx 987.
Shoreline 22, for departure at Mount Washington.
It's very, very busy, but
201, November 514 Delta Victor, proceed direct following VR.
direct to which VOR, sir?
Sorry about that. Proceed direct Maria.
Direct Maria, 5-4 Delta Victor. Alright, so Maria's going to be over this way somewhere.
Shoreline 22, you were calling?
For departure.
Alright, Shoreline 22, release for departure, clearance.
So let's just get vaguely pointed in the right direction for now. And,
frequency change approved, Shoreline 22, call you for departure.
yeah, I was going to say, I don't know, whatever VOR he said, we didn't have it in our flight plan.
And Boston departure, American 877 with you at Boston, direct to Claw, climbing through 2,500.
But Maria is there. Back it up, put it in the magenta, execute, and now we can pop it into nav
Up
mode.
to 360, American 877.
FedEx 987, 7, radar contact 75 miles west of Bangor VR, maintain flight level 300.
Alright, we're through 10. Go ahead and get the landing and logo lights off.
Boston Center, Blue Sheet 5374, we're ready for departure again.
Blue Sheet 5374 on departure flight runway heading, winds 340 at 4, runway 1, clear takeoff.
1, clear takeoff, Blue Sheet 5374.
November 412 Papa, 5x5, but I don't control that airspace, so change to the VATSIM frequency approved. Copy.
Alright, it's making its way onto that direct path that it drew from wherever we started that onto the Point Maria.
Seabird 634, going to be leaving our airspace shortly. New York approach for JFK is offline.
Notice in this flight display, we're at flight level change, meaning that it's pitching to maintain 240. Altitude select is what's armed, so that is what's going to happen next in the vertical mode. This is your lateral mode, this is your vertical mode. So in the vertical mode, we're pitching to maintain 240, but armed is the altitude select, and that's going to capture 250.
Shoreline 22 is passing 5,000 for 10,000 direct to Manchester.
Good Fixins is asking, are your YouTube videos on this mod still mostly accurate? When I finally get around to learning it, I'll be checking those out. Yeah, for the most part. They've the earlier ones, like the 0.8, were talking about like some little bugs in the FMC where you had to duplicate points. You don't have to do that anymore. I have actually been meaning to do an updated one. But the tutorials that I did that were based on version 10 point something should all be pretty good. I don't think too much has really changed.
Contact, climb maintain flight level 190.
190 for Shoreline 22.
Blue Streak 5374 radar contact, climb maintain flight level 280.
Climb maintain flight level 280, Blue Streak.
Alright, through 18. We'll just bump that to standard.
Cleveland Center's offline radars for terminated, change to VATSIM frequency approved.
And the standby automatically changes over to standard when you do that.
November 1 Tango Delta, turn right direct Nantucket Airport.
Direct to Nantucket Airport, 1 Delta.
Blue Streak 5374, turn left direct, correction, proceed direct Pauling VR.
Left direct Pauling, Blue Streak 5374.
Boston Center, DHL 977.
Lufthansa, correction, DHL 977.
While we've got a moment, we'll put in those couple of raffle ticket requests.
Roger, DHL 977, that's approved request to report back.
James and Dave Rendon.
Call you back.
Boston Center, Japan 23, Indiana, 17 South.
November 1 Tango Delta, descend maintain 7,000 for direction of flight.
Send to maintain 7,000, 1 Delta.
Close calling.
So activating flight level change and setting the airspeed automatically sets the speeds, or do you do it manually? No, there is no auto throttle. There is a what they call a FADEC, Dave. So in addition to the whole range you have here, it's hard to see. Let's
Santa, good evening, good speed 816 at Syracuse, request clearance to non-packet.
So in addition to the range of throttle that you have a cruise detente and a climb. I'm sorry. Let me say it. Let me say it accurately.
Maintain level 240.
Cruise is the range, and then you have a climb detente and a takeoff detente.
Level 240. Approach first call 240. Start 455 heavy.
Okay. So for takeoff, you just literally floor it, as SpongeBob would say. And then you can knock it down slightly into climb mode. You shouldn't have it in takeoff, I think, for more than 5 minutes, but really not for more than, whoops, we don't need to save that. Really for not more than, like 30 seconds. Oh, do I not have a, oh man, I'm gonna have to put this back where I had it.
Boston, terminating good speed 816.
Good speed 816 Boston.
Anyway, that's going to be close enough, I guess. But anyway, so it'll keep the N1 at climb power based on atmospheric conditions. So when you set climb power, then the FLC will just adjust the pitch to maintain that 240.
All right, good speed 86.
So hopefully that helps you. And then as we are getting up to 250, yeah, we're not going to be able to auto set like Mach 0.77 or 305 or whatever it is that we're going to be capped at. Under a certain altitude, it's 305 knots, and then over a certain altitude, it goes to Mach 0.77 as your VNE speed. But we might still be low enough that it's windshield's fogging up.
16, you are clear to Nantucket via the Syracuse to departure. Radar vector Syracuse you are. Direct Stella, then is filed. Maintain 4000. Departure with me, squawk 4701.
Clear to Nantucket, Syracuse to departure. Radar vector Stella, maintain 4000. Departure with you, squawk 4701. Speed 816.
Good speed 16. Read back correct. Advisory for taxi. You can expect runway. You can expect runway 33 for departure. Advisory for taxi.
Can't tell if we're just in clouds or if the windshields are fogged over.
Boston Center, DHL 977 Heavy with you.
DHL 977, welcome back. Cross crank at maintain 7000. The Newark altimeter is 2953.
Anyway, we'll check on that in a moment.
At 7000 at DHL 977 Heavy.
But anyway, so arriving at cruise, we're just going to leave it in climb until it accelerates, and it does look like we are indeed still at the level where 305 is our limiting speed, so we're just going to shoot for 300. But there's no throttle, there's no auto throttle to set 300. You're just going to have to at that point knock it from climb to cruise and see what happens.
455.
Yeah, we can go to an outside view and see what's going on with the clouds here. I hope that we're just in clouds. Yeah, I guess we're just in clouds.
FedEx 987, center pilot discretion, maintain level 240.
240, pilot discretion, FedEx 987.
It's beautiful. It is indeed beautiful. All right, so once it gets up to about 300, what we'll do, and there is a little bit of a bug, a tiny, tiny little bug that they know about. If we pull it from climb mode should be the highest sustainable, but if we pull it from climb mode to the very top of the cruise mode, you'll see that there is a couple extra.
Speed 816, runway 33.
Not so much there. Maybe they fixed it.
Alpha Mike cross runway 28, report ready for departure.
Maybe they fixed it, but there was a point where you could pull it from climb into the top of cruise, and you'd get like a couple extra percent N1. Looks like we're going to be pretty good here, just like it is. Ultimate Team official with the file of Ultimate Team. Thanks so much.
Good evening, climb maintain level 360.
Go Bears Sunshine says, as a non-native English speaker, when I hear Rob saying his call sign, I always hear something productive Victor.
The Boston altimeter.
It's because I'm rattling it off so quickly I don't enunciate well enough.
For shoreline 22.
5 foot out of it here.
Yeah, sorry about that. Shoreline 22, 17,7,000, the Boston altimeter 2986.
That's hilarious.
7,029.8T6 for shoreline 22.
Remember, one tango.
Yeah, good fixing said if you leave it in takeoff and put it in flight level change, it'll just go straight up. Does I mean these CJ4s do climb pretty darn well.
And air
Alright, let's start briefing our arrival. Yeah, watch out for that weather. Indeed. Indeed, we might see if we can get a slight deviation. I have a feeling we're going to be in weather at this point, regardless of what happens.
59, send me the Robux 3 arrival on a 4 right, Boston altimeter 2986.
So it does sound like they are landing 4 right still. Boston ATIS. Man, a lot of staffed airports in this area. Boston ATIS, Information Whiskey.
November 1 Tango Delta, turn right heading 200, vectors for the approach.
010 at 11 knots, 4 static miles. Very low visibility. 5 to 6,000 feet RVR on 4 right with rain. A few clouds at 1,300, broken at 3,300, overcast at 12,000, temps 18, dew point 16, altimeter 29906. 286. 29806. ILS 4 right in use. Oh yeah, Dave. If I don't get to it right away, don't panic. The Twitch keeps a list for me, and it won't let me forget. I'm gonna go ahead and skip this forward a couple here. Let's go MFD advance and just hit next a couple times.
Delta Victor, descend maintain flight level 210.
210, 54 Delta Victor. All right, so 210. Let's go ahead and pop it into flight level change.
November 74656. Advise when you're at Brunswick Airport in sight.
Wilco 74656.
DHL 977 New York approach for Newark is offline.
Go ahead and spin it down to 280.
Service terminated. Change of odds frequency approved. Good day.
Roger, changing to 2.8.
So we'll go down to about 50%.
Boston Center, good evening, Delta 66 Heavy, 380 approaching Ebony.
Delta 66 Boston Center, good evening.
Good evening.
Boston Delta 1423, 28 for 31.
Alright, let's go ahead and start looking at charts. We don't need that one anymore. We don't need that one anymore. Yeah, we got some weather, I would say.
November 514 Delta Victor, hold west of CFS as published on the JFund 2 arrival.
West of CFS as published on the JFund 2, 54 Delta Victor. Alright, let's...
Boston Center, Warrior, November 74656. We got the field in sight. We'll cancel flight following.
November 74656, radio service terminated, squawk VFR, frequency change approved. Good day.
Squawk VFR 74656.
JFund 2, JFund 2, ILS 4 right,
1423 radar contact,
airport diagram.
45 miles west of the Hancock VOR, maintain level 310.
Alright, seats 210 and 280.
Good speed 600 for departure.
Good speed 816. Was that you calling ready for taxi? Sorry, on the landline.
Alright, let's get this programmed in. We're leveled off at 210, so let's put it back into
good speed 816 on first flight runway.
put it back into cruise power. Let's get the hold programmed in. We will go here to index and hold. Actually, let's go to legs. Next. Next. Oh, wait a minute. Back. Yeah, there it was. Seats. So now let's go index and hold. And put that in there.
FedEx 455, contact Boston, approach 133.0, good day. Something nothing, have a good night.
Oh, okay, I got it. New hold. Now we pick seats and put it there. There we go. Let's see, as published, that means what's on the chart. Right turns. Inbound is, it says 113. It's actually 114 on the chart. I don't think that 1 degree is going to make a difference. It's not even going to let us put it there. Okay. It's 15 nautical miles, so we can put that in. And it's 210 knots.
Blue Street 5374, so Emily United States shortly, New York Center as well as Washington Center offline radio service terminated, change revised for
okay, so it's not letting us change.
Blue Street 5374, thank you.
Not letting us change the knots, so we will have to manually manage the speed there.
Radar contact, altitude.
But we do have.
Blue Street, correction, good speed 816. Roger, climb, maintain.
We do have the geometry of it correct. Oh, it's
2359. Contact Boston, approach
230 knots is the max, by the way. I'm looking at this. So 280 knots if we're coming through that point, 230 knots in the hold. So we'll have to manually knock the speed down to 230 when we get there. But we've at least got it programmed in. $114 right. Okay, thank you. So if you're going to put the new course in, whoops, clear. If you're going to put the new course in, 114 slant right. Okay, now we can execute that. Gotcha. Now the speed, though, I don't think it was taking at all. So we're inbound there on a 114. It was off by 1 degree for whatever. 1 degree is not going to make that big a difference, but just to get it accurately, you do want to, you want to look and see what's on that chart there. But no, thank you for that, Go Bears. But the speed, it says key not operable, so. But we do need to kind of be aware as we enter that hold that we do need to knock the speed down to 230 knots. And again, there's no auto throttle. Credit to the working title guide. Yeah, well, I feel like I should have known that, but I haven't used that feature in a while.
Deck 987, descend via the Roebuck, correction, the Ocean 5 arrival, runway 4 right, the Boston altimeter 2986.
But anyway.
4 right, and we'll descend by the Ocean 5, FedEx 987.
But anyway, the key point was index and hold, and you want to enter a new hold. So that's the part that I was kind of struggling with for remembering how to do. Waxing it's already in there because it's the missed approach for runway 4 right. So that's why it's already got that hold programmed in there. You want to leave that one as is. Back to the legs page. And now you can see at the legs page, we got Stolly and then Munster and then seats, and then we got the hold at seats.
Maintains level 200.
Level 200, 1423.
Why is there a hold at Monster? There's not.
Pardon me.
There's not. There's Monster, and then there's Seats, and then there's the hold at Seats. We're on the legs page now. Actually, okay, so what you're looking at is the tail end of the hold at Seats.
India cross FDOT as maintained 1000. The Montreal altimeter 29.
So you can see this is a 15 nautical mile leg, but this is 14 nautical miles. So even though this is depicted as being only the last portion of the chart, it's a 15 nautical mile leg. So it really goes back that far because that's only a 14 mile leg. Not to scale. That's the key point there. Not to scale. Gaming Guitarist with the follow. Gaming Guitarist, how are you? Good to see you. We're performing the Boston Virtual ARTCC Wings Over New England training flights. And as part of this flight, they have us entering the published hold along the arrival. Good evening from Michigan, says Gaming Guitarist. Well, hello to you from virtually from Boston, and in the real world from Baltimore. But as part of this training flight, they have us flying this published hold at Seats. There's not really a ton of, well, there's always a ton of traffic coming into Boston, but there's not really so much traffic coming into Boston that they have to hold us. But it is part of the training flight that we can demonstrate that we know how to do this. Again, the Boston Virtual ARTCC Wings Over New England flights. And 6 VFR flights and 24 IFR flights, each getting progressively more complex with the procedures that it has to demonstrate. Red Warhawk is back with us.
240. Impulse thrust down 240 Delta.
Alright, so now we're making the turn from Stoley to Monster. Bump the heading bug up just to match it.
Boston Center, good evening. Delta 918, flight level 360.
Delta 918, Boston Center, good evening.
And Delta 918, can we get about 10
while
minutes out, please?
While we're here, it looks like it wouldn't be a bad idea to have the approach in from Goshi. Just in case we had to intercept it that far out, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have that in there. So let's go ahead and just, since we have a second, let's just go ahead and re-enter that approach as being from Goshi. So departures and arrivals. And we go back to the legs page. Monster sheets and hold it sheets. Then Double. We should, by the way, step through the chart here and make sure all these altitudes are right. Double at 17, Blaze at 14. J-Fund, and then as we go to the second page, Autumn at 12 to 11.
TBM 1 Tango Delta, turn left heading 150, descend maintain 1,500.
At 8 to 10.
Turning left heading 150,
Paris.
descend to maintain 1,500, 1 Tango Delta.
Then Spiced and Grifty and Gabe and Joby. At 6. Gabe at 7, right? Spiced at 7, yep, okay. And then we have our discontinuity that we're leaving in, and then Goshi and Winnie. Okay, so all that's correct now. I'm going to go MFD advance and just skip this forward a couple.
Boston Center, November 771, Bravo Charlie, radio check.
5 break November 1 Tango Delta, 5 miles from Craig, turn left heading 080, maintain 1,500 till establishment localizer, cleared ILS from a 6 approach.
And we're turning left heading 080.
Boston Virtual ARTCC needs an application form to become a member. Now, I think that's to become a controller there, Go Bears. I think just to join in, I don't think you need that much. I don't remember. I think you really basically sign in with your VATSIM credentials. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've signed up on that website. Alright, I'm going to zoom the map in just a bit. just so we can kind of watch what the plane is doing. And then we should report the time that we are established in the hold as well. So we're going to need to knock the speed down to 230.
FedEx 987, Conic Boston, approach 133.0, good night.
33.0, FedEx 987, good night.
Go Bear says an ordinary member needs to make an application to sign in with the VATSIM ID. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I haven't been through their sign-up process in ages, obviously. I love how that hold is going to take us right through that red cell, too. Well, we're just going to ignore that. Ordinarily, you probably would want to let the controller know that you don't want to hold there because of the weather, but again, we're performing this as a training flight, so we're going to do what it says to do. One thing it does say to do is to reduce speed to 230, so I'm going to start working on that now. Just pull it down to 50%, see how that does us.
Boston Center, JetBlue 2911.
Blue 2911, go ahead.
Permission level off of flight level 340.
JetBlue 2911, climb and maintain flight level 340.
340, JetBlue 2911, thank you.
We are indeed still in the soup. It looks like that weather's starting to move off to our southeast a little bit, so that's going to allow us to fly the hold without going right through the red part. Maybe, possibly. No guarantees. Okay, so there's 230. Let's put a little power back in to maintain that.
Roger.
We're also at the top of descent for the star, but we don't want to engage VNAV just yet. Oh, by the way, when we got up to cruise, I guess we could have undone the seat belts, although that's kind of stupid to do now since we're in such bad weather. I probably should just leave the seatbelt sign on, but we'll just go ahead and say we turned it off at cruise. So we can put a little power in to get back to 230. Okay, now it's gonna put us in the hold here at seats. It's 0023 Zulu. Center citation 514 Delta Victor's past waypoint seats and joining the hold, flight level 210.
Number 514 Delta Victor, roger.
Alright, we can keep it at
Center, that's in November 771 Bravo Charlie, radio check.
And we'll do as many laps as he says to do.
5x5.
1BC 5x5, thank you.
We're still in freezing temps, yes? Okay, well, we've still got the anti-icing on then.
November 1 Tango Delta, welcome to Nantucket, left when able, taxi ramp via Echo, good day.
Taxi ramp by Echo, 1 Tango Delta.
There you go, Dave. The other thing on the J-Fund arrival, guys, is that there are a bunch of speeds to adhere to. 280 knots. And then we get to the second page, 270 knots, 250. You can put these speeds into the FMC, and it will kind of give you it'll flash you a warning if you're exceeding them. We might do that. If we have some time in the hole here, we might actually do that. Not a bad idea.
Boston Center, good evening. Delta 7 Swearing Heavy with you climbing through.
Because there's no auto throttle, it does not have an automatic way to maintain those speeds. However, it will let you know about those speeds
Good evening, climbing team info 360.
if you're not following them.
Boston Center, mid flight 135.
Mid flight 135, Boston Center, go ahead.
So at autumn, it's 270.
We're on the Concord with the weather and NOTAMs. We'd like IFR clearance to Mount Washington Regional.
Mid flight 135, standby clearance request.
So let's see if we can do this. 270 slash.
Boston, Delta 918.
Yeah, there we go.
Delta 918, thank you.
And then 250 at Winter.
Southwest 34, 30, 40, 50.
Again, just showing you. So the speeds, 270 knots, 250 knots at Winter, 220 at Spiced, 220 at Gabe there. So those are what I'm going to put in. How do they evaluate the wings flights? Just based on what they see on their scope. They're not looking. They're not looking in your cockpit. They're looking to see, are you in the right, on the right route, doing the right thing at the right speed and the right altitude. They're not watching the buttons you're pushing. They're watching the result.
American 877, descend maintain flight level 340.
So 270 at autumn, 250 at winter, 250 slash.
American 877, descend maintain flight level 340.
Whoops. Meant to do that there. In the right line select, not the left line select. Spiced at 220, so 220 slash. It's
Southwest 4752, radar contact 55 miles to the south of the Syracuse.
And
VOR altitude indicate Christian
220 again at G Gabe. 220 splash. And
Number 514 Delta Victor, proceed direct seats, resume the J-Fund 2 arrival.
Direct seats and resume the J-Fund 2, 54 Delta Victor. Alright, so let's go back to the legs page.
American 877, Boston Center.
And clear, clear, clear. Just direct seats and execute. No, it's not going to do it. Let's put it in the heading mode and manually affect the turn.
Boston Center, Cessna, November 771 Bravo Charlie. Off the ground 5 Bravo 2, looking for flight following to Schenectady County.
Yep, and then we'll go exit hold.
771 Bravo Charlie, squawk 4721.
4721 Bravo Charlie.
I'm not convinced that it's definitely got us past exiting that hold.
JFK is offline radio service terminated, change of frequency for you today. 1423, have a good day.
So we're just going to manually affect that turn to seats, and we'll make sure that the FMC does the right thing.
Envoy 2120, 11,000.
How does VATSTAR rate the check ride? They actually have somebody watching via some sort of a screen share. I believe they do it over Discord or
2120 Boston Center, radar contact
something along those lines.
16,000 envoy 21.
So VATSTAR does theirs more akin to an instructor sitting in the cockpit with you.
November 514 Delta Victor, descend via the J-Fund 2 arrival on a 4 right, Boston altimeter 2986.
Alright, we'll descend via the J-Fund 2, 4 right, 2986, 54 Delta Victor.
November 771 Bravo Charlie, radar contact 20
Alright, we're going to accelerate back up to the published speeds.
Altitude 1,500.
1,500, 1 Bravo Charlie.
Need to put in 210 at Joby. 210/@Joby. Go back to the legs page, and then we do need to go ahead and engage VNAV.
November 771 Bravo Charlie, do you have a runway preference tonight?
1 Bravo Charlie, not yet.
After seats is 210, and then
Bravo Charlie, enter left down
Double is 17,000. So we'll make sure that it starts us down.
Runway 5.
We'll go ahead and get the seatbelt signs back on.
Boston Center, good evening, Lufthansa Cargo 5 Alpha Mike, 18 miles west of...
Alright, we are in VNAV, and the snowflake is coming down.
Lufthansa Cargo 5 Alpha Mike, Boston Center, Squawk 46.
We can program 2986.
Squawking 4626, Lufthansa Cargo 5 Alpha Mike.
Boston Center, Southwest 268, final 370.
Forgot to put it back into LNAV mode.
Centerman Flight 135, we're 5 miles north of Concord.
And I forgot to lower the...
we're at 3,000.
Forgot to lower the altitude selector. Hold on a second.
268, Squawk 4604.
Forgot to lower the altitude selector. We are cleared via the J fund. That means we are cleared down to the lowest published altitude, 6,000. So let's go ahead and just lower that down to 6,000.
Envoy 2120, I show you 14,000, fly maintain 16,000.
Okay, 16,000, thank you, Envoy 21.
Southwest 268, radar contact 25 miles north of the Caltrim VOR, maintain flight level 370.
I'm on. Get it down to... Get the altitude selector down to 6.
German Lufthansa Cargo 5 Alpha Mike, radar contact 40 miles northwest of the Hancock VOR, maintain flight level 390.
Alright, there's 6,000. We're trying to get the power down to about 50%, and then we're going to try and maintain 280. And then we're going to watch the speeds as well on this arrival. But the last published speed was 280, so that's what we need to be at now. And so we need to stay at 280 until we get to the next one, which is 270 at autumn. So we'll pitch up there for 270. Okay. And I think we're good, doing good now. So I did that. That was one step that I did forget, was getting the altitude lowered to the...
13285, thank you for the service. Go my passenger.
Once you're cleared to descend via the arrival, you want to just lower that altitude selector to the lowest published altitude on that arrival. And since we're following the transition for 4 right, which is the one that comes down here to Joby, lowest published altitude is here is 6,000. If we were doing a different runway, the lowest published might be 5,000, but we're definitely following this for 4 right. So in our case, the lowest published is 6,000.
4773 Fairmont Flight 135.
And let's try and make sure we're staying at 280. We're a little slow. Let's get back up there.
Delta 918, descend at pilot discretion, maintain flight level 240.
PD down to flight level 240, Delta 918.
Skywest 416, radar contact 25 miles east of the Kingston VOR, maintain 16,000.
All right, let's start briefing our approach too, by the way.
Skywest 4119.
While we're trying to maintain 280, we'll brief the approach.
2955.
Quarter, Timber 2995.
Skywest 4119.
Frequency is 110.3 and 035. We'll make a note of that. That should tune automatically. Let's yeah, we already put it in, the departures and arrivals.
Radar contact.
We do need to do the performance on that.
Radar contact 15 miles southwest
approach.
of the 11 VOR. You're cleared to the Washington County Airport via present position direct mark.
18 is the temperature.
Maintain 5,000.
Okay, we're clear
So,
to present position, direct Montpelier for the
118 and 111, we'll go ahead and send that.
135 will maintain 5,000.
All right, now we'll go back to...
51 Providence IFR to Washington National, request clearance.
All right, we're still at 280 here. At autumn, we slow it to 270, so we'll start bringing it down.
You clear the National via flying heading radar vector jumper. Then as
All right, frequency in course 110.3 and 035. That should be preset minimums. Are going to be 374, so we'll go ahead and put that in.
Jumper as file maintain 4,134.7.
Rest menu.
Southwest 551, reback correct, advise ready for taxi. You can expect runway 5 for departure.
So 374, so that'll be 380.
Okay, we're ready to push now.
Just round it up to the next highest.
Southwest 551, push, approved, advise ready for taxi.
We'll do 560. Southwest
380.
Boston Center, Kilo 4895, good evening. Flight level 230, flying direct to Kenny Bank BVARTCC.
We have talked about the winds.
And last year of calling, say call sign.
Information X-ray now.
Hotel Kilo 48.
010 at 6, so if the wind's coming from 010 when we're on 035, it's going to be coming from our left. So we'll need to correct to the left.
Speed control, please. 320.
Check speed. Yeah, I know.
Okay, there you go.
Yep. It's correct. We should be at 270. So it was reminding us that we were slightly in excess of 270.
Cessna 771 Bravo Charlie. We can cancel.
Yeah, so it's flashing yellow at us just to remind us that we're above that published speed of 270. It's kind of nice.
Change to advisory 771 Bravo Charlie.
It is still 4 statute miles in rain with a few at 1200, so
2205 is flight level 2.
we are going to have some visibility issues. We do need to be careful about adhering to the minimums.
New plan is to go to Syracuse.
Right.
Redline says, I love this mod. Got to try flight sim again with a new GPU.
Center 133.0.
Go on approach 1630 Delta 667.
I'm learning the TU-134 for X-Plane. Yeah, I am not in the market for any new planes at the moment. I do have a vintage airliner that I have. Yeah, I have a 727, which I love. That's my vintage airliner that I use as my go-to there. All right, Winta is 250 knots, so let's go ahead and slow it.
November 514 Delta Victor, contact Boston, approach 133.0.
133.0, 514 Delta Victor.
Southwest 4752, proceed direct seats. Southwest 4752, actually proceed direct J fund.
Direct J, 2.2 for 5. JetBlue 2017 Boston departure. Good evening, your radar contact. Climb maintain 14,000.
14,000, JetBlue 2017.
Approach Citation 514 Delta Victor. Information X-ray 9400 J fund. Arrival 4 right.
Citation number 514 Delta Victor, Boston approach. Good evening. Information X-ray current. The Boston altimeter 2986. You can expect the ILS runway 4 right approach.
All right, 2986, expect 4 right, ILS 514 Delta Victor. All right, so 2986, we did not push that barrow back into local, so now we've done that. And we want to...
Lufthansa 434 Heavy, contact Boston Center 134.7. Good night.
Over Boston Center 134.7, Lufthansa 434 Heavy.
We're going to get our passenger briefing for our arrival and get our logo and landing lights back on. Passenger briefing. What else, guys? What else?
Turn off all portable electronic devices, stow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. Return your seat to the upright and outboard position. Extend your headrest and fasten your lap belt and shoulder straps. After landing, please remain in your seat with your lap belt and
I think we're good. I think we just need to check and make sure the nav transfer happens at the appropriate time. We're going to watch our speed. Our speed's winding up. Where are we? We are at, yeah, I know we're trying to slow down.
Citation number 514 Delta Victor, say airspeed.
Yeah, we're a little fast. We're 250. We're slowing.
All right, thank you.
At Spiced, we're supposed to be at 220. We'll get it down to 220.
Boston approaching I-213 with you at 3,500.
United 213 Boston departure. Good evening, your radar contact. Climb maintain 14,000.
After Spiced, we keep 220 until Joe B.
Boston approach, climb maintain 14,000, I-213.
JetBlue 2017, contact Boston Center 134.7. Good night.
34.7, JetBlue 2017. Good night.
Altitude.
We're within 1,000. We're going to level off at 6 until he gives us lower. We're going to hold 220 knots. And I think we're good for now, guys. We may not see much until the runway comes into sight. Hopefully before minimums. No, we should break through at 1,200 if the current conditions are correct. We can bump the speed up just a little bit. It's like we're kind of coming through a little bit of a layer here. There we go. This is a tricky plane to do this rating in because of the speeds. Because there's no auto throttle on this plane, so it's not going to automatically hit those speeds for you on the way down. Like, for example, a 737 or an Airbus would. So I'm going to... We did level off at 6,000, so I'm going to hold 6,000. I did have to put a little bit of power back in to keep it up at 220. And again, after Joby, you stay on that heading, 213, until he tells you to turn. I'm kind of expecting that they will test us on that. So even if traffic permits, I doubt we'll get an early turn in. I think part of the rating is to make sure you know to keep going straight after that Joby point. So we will expect to keep on going.
Boston approach 9213, hang your center. Have a good night.
And then at Joby, don't forget, we also got to pull the speed down another 10 knots to 210.
Delta Victor, descend and maintain 3,000.
3,000, 5 and 4 Delta Victor. All right, and I'm just going to put it into... flight level change mode there. We can also do a vertical speed. Actually, I'll tell you what. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do vertical speed. Put it in about 1,000. And then we'll manually adjust for 210 knots at Joby. Now, once we pass Joby, we're supposed to just stay on this heading. I'm going to actually just pop it into heading mode, just so we don't accidentally make a turn here. It's starting to look like it's breaking up a little bit.
Citation 4 Delta Victor, turn right heading 300, vectors to final.
All right, 300, 4 Delta Victor.
Altitude.
300. At this point, since we're now on an intercept, I'm going to actually slow it to about a 170. So I'm going to slow down the vertical descent.
Citation 4 Delta Victor, continue right turn heading 010, join the localizer, descend and maintain 2000.
All right, 010, join the localizer 2000, 5-4 Delta Victor. All right, I'm going to tell the FMC that we're now direct to Nabo. At below 200, we can get the first notch of flaps out.
Air Canada 1123 Heavy, contact Boston Center 134.7.
All right, heading over to Center 134.7, Air Canada 1123. Thank you.
You guys can start putting some predictions into the chat. No bot command is necessary, but just a number, positive or negative. We know you mean a descent rate.
Citation 4 Delta Victor, 5 miles from Milt, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 4 right approach.
All right, 2000 until established and clear for the ILS 4 right, 5-4 Delta Victor. All right, so approach mode now active. Okay, we do see the nav switch over. 110.3 and 034, so it's off by a degree, but we know that often happens.
Flight level 19.3, descending via the Ocean 5.
Delta 918, heavy Boston approach, getting information.
Yep, so no bot commands necessary, but just a number into the chat, positive or negative. We'll know that mean a descent rate. Closest one in either direction gets their entry into our September 29th landing rate raffle. Missed approach altitude, by the way. Did we talk about that?
Contact tower now, 128.8. We'll see you.
28.8, 5-4 Delta Victor. 3,000. 28.8. Boston Tower, citation 514 Delta Victor's 7.5 mile final, ILS 4 right approach.
Number 514 Delta Victor, Boston Tower, hello, wind 010 at 6, runway 4 right, clear to land.
Clear to land 4 right, 5-4 Delta Victor. Alright, glide slope is active. We can set missed approach altitude 3,000. We get gear down. We'll take 170 to 5 miles unless we're instructed otherwise. 118 and 111. All right, there's our 5-mile final. Autopilot off. Yaw damper off. My airplane, heaven help us. .18 is the approach.
500.
Stable. .11 is VREF.
Boston Tower, good evening, Baron, November 1457 uniform.
Continuing.
November 1457 uniform, Boston Tower.
And Tower, November 1457 uniform. That's information X-ray. Looking to pick up instruments to Trenton Mercer, please. Tango, November.
Baron 57 uniform, cleared to the Trenton Airport via the loading to departure. Radar vectors both SOX and as filed. Maintain 3000. Departure frequency 133.0. Squawk 1317.
Hey, Baron, November 1457 uniform, cleared at Trenton, Logan 2 departure, radar vectors, both SOX is file, will climb 3000, departure 133, nothing, and we'll squawk 1317 for 57 uniform.
Baron 57 uniform, the readback correct information, X-ray, current, expect runway.
Alright, not too bad, not too bad.
Give me a minute, I'll get back to you on the runway, and you can call for taxi.
Alright, thanks.
Can we make this next left?
We'll give you a call in a couple minutes.
Yeah, we should be good here. So which left did we make here? Looks like hotel.
Canada 428, wind 010 runway 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 9er, cleared for takeoff, agenda 428.
Citation 514 Delta Victor, welcome to Boston, continue runway 33 right, November, cross runway 4 left, hold short runway 15 right.
33 right, November, cross. I'm sorry, say that again.
It's runway 33 right and then left on November, cross runway 4 left, hold short runway 15 right.
Okay, 33 right, November, cross 4 left, and hold short 15 right, 54 Delta Victor. Okay, so we're a little further up than I thought.
Uniform, you can expect runway 4 left.
I thought we made it off at hotel. We actually turned off at Yankee. So we're going to join runway 33 right. We can get the spoilers and flaps in and get the taxi light on. We're going to leave the strobes on since we are on a runway here. Talk about the numbers here in just a moment, guys. I'll show you in just a moment what they are. Kick that back into, oh no, we're going to change the nav source there. Flaps and spoilers, strobe lights can come off as soon as we make the left here onto November. Pitot and static and anti-icing can come off. Okay, yeah, I got a little bit confused with the taxi instructions because I thought I was off at hotel. I actually rolled it up to Yankee. So it landed a little bit long there.
Citation 4 Delta Victor, taxi, November, and Alpha to the ramp, cross runway 15 right at November.
November and Alpha will cross 15 right at November, 54 Delta Victor.
514 Delta Victor, congratulations on IFR 16.
Thank you. Alright, we can go ahead and get the strobe lights off now. A couple other things to do to clean up here. Flaps and spoilers, strobe and taxi, pitot and static and anti-icing. We can get the weather and terrain radars off as well. So that's going to be there.
41, that was broken and unreadable.
And there.
What runway can we expect for departure?
Make the right at Alpha.
41, that'll be runway 9er.
Runway 9, thank you.
And should be able to get this back into NAV's, what's the NAV source? Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I can hit. Now I can get that back into top up. Okay, there we go. Alright, so immediately off the runway is Bravo, and then the next right is Alpha.
Tower, good evening, Delta 66 Heavy, joining ILS, 4 right.
I thought that was Melvin Leroy for a second there.
6 runway 4 right, clear to land.
Runway 4 right, clear to land, Delta 66 Heavy.
Second listen, I don't think it's him. Alright, Peter Mooney put a guess in like ages and ages ago. I guess that was a guess. I guess we'll take it, even though it was very, very early. But the reason I'm allowing it is because it's not anywhere close. Alright, let's just double check and make sure I got everything on the taxi in checklist. Flaps and spoilers, strobes and taxi, P10 static and anti-icing, and terrain and weather radar off. Yeah, at one point I did get slightly low and slow on that approach, but I did feel that I recovered it okay. And I was a little left the center line as well. The sim does weird things to me sometimes, like putting in like a crosswind that doesn't really exist. I think that I've got some control calibration issues. Now, I checked my rudder controls after that last DC6 stream where it was really bad. And the control calibration all seems fine. It seems perfectly centered. But I had an issue with the 757 with the rudder centering, when that's a completely different sim. So that might just be a hardware issue there.
Okay, we'll take Bravo Charlie to 4 left at Charlie, Baron 57 uniform.
We're heading up just to the GA area here. Get parked, and then we'll talk about the winning number, and then we'll talk about IFR 17. Or 6. Did we just do 16? Yeah, so we're going to roll on to IFR 17. We'll go ahead and get the taxi light off. Yeah, it's easier to remember to get the taxi light off for the ground crew's sake when there's actually a ground crew sitting here. Alright, there we are. Parking brake is on. Taxi light is off. We're going to cut the power just to the number 1. We'll leave the number 2 running as our APU. Nav source was back in the FMC. We put the present position mode back on, so we're good there. Yes, we know that the number 1 engine's not running. That's fine. We'll reset the minimums.
Romeo November, cross 4 left, cross 15 left, hold short, 15 right, Delta 66.
Delta 66 Heavy, it'll be cross 4 left, hold short, runway 15 left.
Cross 4 left, hold short, 15 left, Delta 66.
We get the safety and seatbelt lights off. We can reset our squawk. Yeah, we'll get to that winning number in just a moment, guys. I know you're patiently waiting for that.
Ready for pushback.
Squawk and standby. And our fuel and ETA check. Now, the fuel and ETA, a little bit different because we did that lap of the hold. We were expecting to be here at 8:33 on the blocks at 8:38. We're past that, but I think part of that is because A, we were at a lower altitude where we weren't at our full cruise speed. And B, we did that lap of the hold as well. So we were supposed to have 1,889 pounds left, and we might be a little short of that. Yeah, we do.
Uniform, you ready to go?
So we'll put the fuel back up to where I expected it to be, but again, it's because we were lower altitude and we did that lap of the hold. So some of our reserve fuel got consumed by that. How do you get the ground crew the cloak raindrop? I have no idea. They just happened to be here, kind of near where I wanted to park in the GA area. So I was like, oh, guess I'll park where they're pointing me at. I have no idea. I don't. From the world map, I don't select an ending spot. They just showed up here. Peter said, I didn't know there's a window. Yeah, we normally say don't start putting those predictions in until we're kind of established in the approach.
Delta 66 Heavy, continue November.
But it's all good. Your guess wasn't that close anyway, so it doesn't matter. Let's talk about that winning number.
15 round November, Delta 66 Heavy.
63. I drew through the G-load said 1.52. I felt like it was a pretty smooth landing. I'm not sure that those G-loads are completely accurate. Plus, there's all those little bumps in the runway. Maybe it picks up on those sometimes. I don't know. I felt like it was a fairly smooth landing. 63 is what registered in the descent rate. Let's see who was closest to that. We had a 169. We had a 137, a 122, a 120, a 115, a 108, a 105. I think Papa Charlie's going to have it then. He was the one that put in the lowest number. And I think that's going to be it, guys, unless I missed one. If I missed one, please speak now or forever hold your peace. But as far as I can tell, Papa Charlie's our big winner of the landing right raffle for leg number 1 here. We're going to go ahead and get him on our first of 2 raffle tickets that will go into the fishbowl for tonight. Syracuse says, so does the CJ4 VNAV descent actually work with the mod? Yes, absolutely. Nearly flawlessly. There are very few issues with it, and we even confused it a little bit today because we did a hold halfway down. And then when we hit the VNAV, I forgot to lower the altitude selector until after we passed the point, and I thought that was going to throw it off, and nope, it caught up right away. So, yeah, the VNAV in the CJ4, the working title CJ4 mod, the VNAV works wonderfully. Now, there's some quirks with it because there's no auto throttle. It's not going to hit those speeds for you. You have to manually manage the throttle on the way down. Holy Christmas tree, where do I get it? Yeah, working title CJ4, if you Google that, but I'll Google that for you. I'll do the hard work of Googling it for you. There you go, brother. Enjoy. You're fine. I'm just picking on you, brother. I'm just picking on you. All right, cool. Let's take a quick break out of the cockpit. We are going to, and we got the follow there from Sirius MJ. Awesome, man. Awesome. Hope you'll stop back and see us. Normally we fly for you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Full show schedule down there under the About tab. We do have some variations coming up this week, so but hopefully you'll stop back and see us. We're going to take a quick break out of the cockpit, and we'll let you listen to Boston Tower and see some of the activity here at the airport while I do a little liquid recycling. I'll be back for you. We're going to brief Wings over New England, IFR flight number 17, as we continue on the series of the Boston Virtual ARTCC training flights that they call the Wings over New England series. Sit tight, guys. Lots of flying left to do. We will get to it here in just a moment. Whoa, barrel roll for Wiggle Spank. There we go. All right, hang tight, guys.
Delta Division Park, appreciate the ATC and very nice.
Good.
Boston Tower, good evening. Delta 918 Heavy established 4 right. We're 170 or greater till zone.
Delta 918 Heavy, Boston Tower, wind 006, 24 right, clear to land.
Copy the winds, clear to right 4 land. Clear to right 4 land. Clear to land 4 right, Delta 918 Heavy.
Boston Tower, November TK Hotel, ready for pushback.
November 2 Kilo Hotel, Boston Tower, push on the taxiway Alpha approved.
Can you repeat that for November TK Hotel?
November 2 Kilo Hotel, pushback on the taxiway Alpha is approved.
Pushback on taxiway Alpha is approved. November TK Hotel.
Boston Tower, Delta 3941, ready for taxi and runway 9er.
Delta 3941, runway 9er, taxi via Alpha, November, Bravo, Kilo, Mike, cross runway 4 left at Kilo. Official aircraft, Boston, base confirmation, Yankee, now current altimeter 2987. So Delta 3941, did you copy the taxi instructions or do you need me to give them again?
Boston Tower, Delta 3941, can you hear me?
Delta 3941, affirmative, I hear you now. Did you copy the taxi instructions?
Alright, back with you guys.
Affirm, taxi via Alpha, November, Bravo, Kilo, Mike, cross.
Restic says, is it worth purchasing the planes in the VATSIM 2020 store?
3941, it's all correct except cross.
Here's my take on that.
Kilo.
And I've only got the one,
Kilo,
which is the Coronado Mooney Ovation.
Hey, Boston Tower, good evening. Lufthansa
So
Cargo
maybe what I'm about to say is limited to Coronado. But given that it represents 100% of my experience, I'll tell you. Whether it's worth it or not depends on the product, depends on the manufacturer. But the problem that I've found is that when a SIM update comes out that changes the way that controls work, and then the manufacturers, the add-on developers have to make adjustments to their SIM, their products accordingly. It seems like it takes forever for updates to get pushed into the marketplace. So, like PMDG, you know, they pushed their update to the DC6 like the day after SIM Update 5 came out. The Coronado Mooney Ovation, I'm still waiting. Over a month later, I'm still waiting for the update to that will make it compatible with SIM Update 5. It works mostly, but the fuel selector doesn't work, and hasn't worked since SIM Update 5, which was over a month ago. So, whether they're good products or not, it depends on the individual developer and the individual product, but it seems like updates are really, really slow. And that might be, like I said, that might be because of Coronado. But I heard with a previous update that Coronado had sent their updates, but they were just taking a long time to get through the vetting process to get published on the marketplace. So I would say, if you want a product that is going to update quickly when there are SIM updates that break things, you know, stick with developers that are going to publish updates on their own site. But again, that's just my personal experience, and it's only based on the one plane. So take it with a grain of salt. Let us continue on. We are doing the Boston Virtual ARTCC Wings over New England series. This is a training series. It's published by the group of air traffic controllers that control the Boston airspace on VATSIM. And this is a program that you can go through completely voluntarily, but you can perform these flights anytime Boston controllers are on, and which controllers you need depends on which flight you're doing. Some of them you can do with just a certain, like a tower controller on. Some you need kind of an approach controller covering a certain region, and some you have to actually have Boston Center on covering the whole airspace because the flight just goes across multiple different pieces of their airspace. But for the most part, if they've got controllers on, you can do these flights. Well, you can do them whether or not controllers are on, but if you want to get credit for them, they keep track of who's passed what, and then they have like a little special recognition for those who have done the entire series. So if you want to be evaluated and you want to be told whether you did it properly or didn't do it properly, you need to do it when Boston controllers are on that are covering the region that your particular flight goes through. And it tells you in each one which, which pieces of the airspace you're going to go through. It is 6 VFR flights and 24 IFR flights. Each one gets progressively more complex and builds upon concepts that were demonstrated in earlier ones. And each one has training material that you can read through and get a sense of what it is you're going to be evaluated on and what it is you're going to need to learn how to do. We've done on this channel, we've done VFR 1 through 6. We've done IFR 1 through 15. We just now completed IFR 16, and this is going to be the beginning of IFR number 17. The other thing is each one starts where the last one ended, so you can do them in succession, and you'll just be in position to start the next one. We're starting IFR number 17. We're going Boston to Rutland. We're going to talk about a RNAV departure, in particular a climb via SID departure. We are going to get our clearance via CPDLC, which is simulated on VATSIM as a text message over your pilot client. We'll show you that. We've seen that before, what they call PDC, pre-departure clearances, clearances that you receive via text rather than via voice. We are going to do a full RNAV approach at Rutland with a hold in lieu of procedure turn that our FMC should fly for us automatically. So we'll just have to watch it and make sure that it does do it properly. We are going to fly the Highland 5 departure out of Boston to Highland and then to Manchester VOR and then to Rutland. It does talk about climb via SID and how to comply with that. Altitude restrictions are canceled if it says if you get a climb and maintain, just some basic stuff that you kind of go through in the training material just in case you get any weird instructions. And then when we get to Manchester, we're going to be given the RNAV Zulu to runway 19. And we're going to take that full approach from Gitke. So we're going to fly that full. It's going to be clear direct Gitke and then clear for the approach, essentially. The Zulu. Oh, we can do the Yankee or the Zulu, depending on depending on the climb gradient that you can achieve. Now this plane climbs like a banshee, so we can do the higher climb gradient and the lower minimums. So we can do the Zulu. We'll do the RNAV Zulu to the 19.
To the ramp, cross runway 15 right at November.
We are going to fly the hold in lieu in order to join that approach, and then we are going to do the missed approach. We are going to get established in the hold for the missed approach. If you use an FMC, it probably will fly the entire procedure, including the hold entry, without your help. Yes, but we will need to make sure that it is doing it properly. So we will fly the missed, and then after the end, fly to the minimums before going missed, fly the published missed, including the hold, and then any instrument or visual approach to return to Rutland. So that's the program here, and that's all the stuff that we have to do if we're going to pass IFR number 17. Now the other thing is, I think the controller's only supposed to be on until 10. We'll have to see if we're going to have center coverage long enough for us to do this. Cirrus says, should I also install the G1000, G3000, and GX devices as well? So, you don't need them for this plane, but you can use those for the other planes that have those particular Garmin units in them. But you don't need them for the CJ4. I only have this this mod installed from Working Title. Alright, we got some folks that need some raffle tickets. Red Warhawk just hit that magic 5,000 threshold and cashed in for 6 raffle tickets. We'll catch up all that stuff a little bit later on, so don't worry too much about that. But we are going to go ahead and get up and running for this flight, guys. So let me get back to my checklist. Let me get back into the airplane. And here we are. Let's go ahead and take it from the top.
Number 2 Kilo Hotel.
Yeah, if you fly aircraft, Cirrus, if you fly aircraft that have any of those devices in them, strongly recommend. But I don't personally fly them, so I can't say from personal experience, but the Working Title Group they are amazing. As a matter of fact, they're so amazing that Asobo hired them, and they're now working on incorporating these mods into the core sim. So slowly but surely, all these mods that they've made are going to become part of the actual base sim. So great team, they do great work, and Asobo has fortunately recognized that and pulled them in officially to work with them. Let's go ahead and get our flight plan filed.
It might just be missing the taxi sign, but it should be there. But that's fine. You can make the left on echo.
We can go ahead and get that over here. IFR to Boston to Rutland, KRUT. I'm actually going to use Burlington as the alternate for this one as well. We're going to call the departure time 01:45. I'm not sure, like I said, how long the controller is going to be on.
Number 809901 is ready for taxi.
Time and route, we're going to call it. We're going to call it a half an hour. And we're going to say we've got an hour 53 left in the tanks.
Oh, I see. You're at the cargo.
Cruise speed is going to be 300. Cruise altitude.
Stand by just a moment. I have a plane
pretty low. I think
right there, and I'll get you out as soon as he comes in.
I forgot to put it in here.
No problem. I'm here.
Let's come back.
Delta 624 Heavy, it's not 5 for the kilo, ready for taxi.
Okay, Boston.
24 Heavy, runway 9er, taxi via Kilo,
K
cross
Ruts.
runway 4 left at Kilo.
It is the Highlands 5.
Kilo Mike, cross 4 left at Kilo,
Highlands
624 Heavy.
and Manchester. Top altitude on the Highlands. Is that Mr. Melvin that has stopped in? Top altitude on the Highland, I think it's 5,000. We're going to plan to go a lot higher than that.
Southwest 4752, welcome to Boston.
But
Continue
probably not a lot higher than that.
Left on November, cross 4 left.
It's 100.
Runway 15 right.
Yeah, we're going to basically just say 10,000, guys. So I don't think we're going to need to go much higher than 10.
Right, 4752.
Now, November 2 Kilo Hotel, it looks like you passed Mike. Are you able to make a U-turn right there, or I can have you back taxi down runway 4 right in front of you?
Yeah, that's
So
what I'm doing right
10,000.
now.
Swings IFR 17. This is the Highlands 5, Highland, and MHP.
November 809901,
file that.
runway 9er, taxi via Lima, Bravo,
Boston
Kilo,
Atis
Mike, cross runway 4 left at Kilo.
is now on Yankee. We'll look at that in just a moment. Going to head into here.
Taxi via Lima, Bravo, Kilo, Mike, cross 4 left Kilo to runway 9er, 901.
Hang on, airport elevation. I didn't put some of this stuff in. To my planning spreadsheet. 787. Initial altitude 5,000. Expect 10,010. 133.0. Is that still going to be the Boston departure frequency? Yeah, it sure is. Okay.
November 2 Kilo Hotel, wind 050 at 10, runway 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway
And does
9er.
Yankee tell us which departure runway to expect? It
taxi
might.
November Bravo Echo to the rip, cross runway 15 right at November.
November
2987.
Echo, and then 15 right, 4752.
Departing runway 9.
And Lufthansa Cargo 5, Alka Mike is in parking. Thanks for your service, sir, and have a great night. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, good night.
Alright, 2987 I think is what it said, right? 2987. 2987. It's a little bit weathery. Yeah, it is indeed. This should be a fun one. We'll see how it goes. Fortunately, like I said, the Working Title mod has pretty good anti-icing systems, so we should be okay. Let's see if we can get a clearance here. Information Yankee out of Boston to Rutland
Aircraft trying to call Boston
for the
Tower, so I have no audio coming across.
IFR number 17. Boston Tower, Citation 514 Delta Victor, information Yankee, IFR, wings 17 to Rutland.
Citation 514 Delta Victor, Boston Tower, clearance, summer request number 1.
Number 1, we are number 1.
624 heavy, 109, line up and wait. 29, line up and wait, Delta 624 heavy.
While we're waiting on them, we can go ahead and start programming the route and stuff, just kind of under the assumption that we'll get it as filed. So we're still waiting on our clearance per se, but let's go ahead and get down into the route. We'll go flight plan. If we enter KBOS into the FMC, it will blank off the rest of the plan there. Okay, good. Okay, RUTs. Enter that there. We are going to go departure and arrival. We know it's the Highland 5 to Highland.
Number 514 Delta Victor, Boston Center will be closing in 40 minutes. Do you think you can get there by then?
We'll do our best. If we don't get credit for this flight, it's not a big deal. I think I technically already have credit for it.
514 Delta Victor, roger. I'll have your clearance in just a moment. November 2 Kilo Hotel, turn right heading 090.
Yeah, I've done some of the series before, so I don't technically need credit for this one just yet. All right, Highland 5, runway 9.
2 Kilo Hotel, turn right heading 090.
Then it is, let's go to flight plan. So Highland 5 to Highland, and then it is direct to Manchester VOR, and then that's pretty much it.
Boston Tower, November 737, Foster Victor, Hattie here.
And yes, we are going to go with the one that's in North America, so that one.
Hotel, Boston Tower.
We actually don't know. We know actually for sure that we're going to go with the ILS Zulu. No, wrong. RNAV Zulu to, and I think it said, let's double check.
November 2 Kilo Hotel, Boston Tower.
Boston Tower, November 2 Kilo Hotel.
November 2 Kilo Hotel, you're off at the departure. Fly heading 090. You're also above the top altitude of the SID. Stop your climb immediately.
Yankee or Zulu from Gitgee.
Contacting Boston departure and 123.0.
So if it was Yankee, it would be from Gitgee, I think.
Boston Tower, November 737, Foster Victor.
No, it looks like they maybe just renamed that fix. I'm looking at the ILS again.
Give me a call back in about 5
minutes. RNAV Yankee.
I think we can work something out. Delta 624 heavy, wind 050
from Gitgee,
cleared for takeoff.
but I think the RNAV Zulu.
29, cleared for takeoff, Delta 624 heavy.
This is November 809901. So, long story short, we ran into an invisible building, and then pushback wouldn't respond.
It is supposed to be Gitgee.
If my aircraft is slowly reversing, I apologize.
Number 809901, no problem. That's all the ramp right there, so I don't control that area.
RNAV 19 Zulu at Rutland. And it does not have... Alright, well I guess we won't do any of those then, because Gitgee should be the default, I suppose. We'll just look and make sure.
I'm going to the frequency one more time. I'll be right back. I gotta tell Microsoft Flight Simulator to stop giving me pushback.
Roger.
Yeah, okay, so it defaults to Gitgee. Okay, well then that makes better sense. And we don't know whether we'll be cleared directly from Manchester to Gitgee, so we're going to leave that... Going to leave that discontinuity in there. Alright, so that's all good. That's less confusing now. No, yeah, I got you, Sirius. I understand. It's just that the way the instructions were... From the initial fix, not the feeder fix. 514 Delta Victor, go ahead.
November 514 Delta Victor, you're cleared to the Rutland Airport via the Highland 5 departure, then as filed. Flying via SID, departure 133.0, squawk 1324.
Alright, cleared to Rutland, Highland 5 departure, then as filed, maintain 5,000, or climb via SID, correction, climb via SID, 133.0 and 1324 for 514 Delta Victor.
Delta 624 heavy, connect departure, good night.
Boston departure, have a great night, Delta 624 Heavy.
Citation 514 Delta Victor, the readback correct information. Yankee is current. Expect 9 for departure, call for taxi.
All right, we got Yankee. We'll expect that. We'll call you in a few if I haven't put out the Victor. Yeah, no, Sirius, I kind of skimmed through that that description, and I've had it in my head that they needed you to pick that transition, but it's not. It is just the initial fix, like you suggested. So, yep, there you go. Many of them you have to choose the feeder fix or the transition fix. So, just had it in my head that this was one of those. It's not. Yeah, I was looking for. Yeah. Anyway, I got this conflated with some of the other ones, but we're all good. We've got it in there. Everything is correct in the FMC. We've got our clearance now. We can go ahead into the performance page. So let's do perf and takeoff. Now there's a slight bug in the working title, whereas if you do 2 legs in the same session, your takeoff V-speeds are already going to be blue, which they only should be if you've sent them to the FMC. So you'll see that these are already blue, but we're going to go ahead and hit send again anyway. 108, 109, and then 119 and then 140. So 108, 109, 119 will be an engine out, and then we'll try and pitch to 140 on initial departure. So that's now sent.
514. I'm sorry, who was the aircraft calling for pattern work?
Not me.
November 737 Foxtrot Victor.
November 737 Foxtrot Victor.
Okay, Barrow we set already.
Cessna 172
ground elevation at Boston is about 19 feet, so we're pretty close there. We can go ahead and set the transponder code that we got on the tune page. What was it? 13 something. 1324.
November 737 Foxtrot Victor. I think I can get you in at least a couple laps. We'll see what happens.
Mad respect to these kids who have the gumption just to crash into buildings on VATSIM. I get panicked and to hit push to talk, and I'm an adult, and I'm so scared to get online for years after signing up. Yeah, I know, man, and it's good though, because I think one of my best pieces of advice is don't worry if you get embarrassed, if you mess up, if you make an embarrassing mistake. It's okay, make an embarrassing mistake. You're going to do that on VATSIM. It's a huge learning curve. So feel free to sound silly the first handful of times you get on VATSIM. Alright, so we got the nav displays set up. We can increase the...
November 809991, actually takeoff clearance canceled, runway 9 line up and wait. November 809991, takeoff clearance canceled, runway 9 line up and wait.
Alright, let's go MFD advance and step through the next waypoints.
November 737 Foxtrot Victor, runway 4 left at Charlie, taxi via Bravo Charlie.
Okay, so there's our departure, and that's it. And that's the arrival. That's the approach. Okay, everything's looking good there.
Transat 403 Boston.
We'll set the map range so that we can see that first point claw that we need to steer to. Alright, initial altitude we said was 5,000. That's published on that approach. Or, I'm sorry, on that SID, 5,000. Oh, we do need to, by the way, we do need to just shut off the flight directors here to cancel everything out that was active in that.
Delta 5733 Boston Tower, push your discretion, call for taxi.
Call for taxi, Delta 5733.
United 89 and welcome to Boston. Continue runway 33 right and the left on November. Cross
I'm trying to just
short runway 15 right.
Trying to just cancel out the
United 89, proceed on runway 33 right.
Let's go autopilot on, autopilot off.
Runway 4 left, hold short runway 15
right. And then turn that flight director off and that flight director off.
Crossing through right, left on November, cross 4 left, short of 15 right.
Can we undo? And then can we just do...
13 ILS 4 right inbound.
United 513,
altitude, and then let's undo that.
10 runway 4 right, clear to land number 2.
Clear to land United 513.
November 809901, connect Boston departure 133.0, good night.
Okay, alright, I think we got it all reset now, that's good. Okay, good, good, good. Initial altitude 5,000, initial heading. Let's look at the Highlands. The initial heading off of runway 9 is a 092, but then we do go RNAV to claw. So we will set the heading to 092, but we are pretty much going to engage LNAV mode off the runway. 092 is set. Alright, let's go ahead and get safety and seatbelt lights on. Climate control off. Let's go ahead and get the number 1 up and running.
Please fasten your seatbelt and shoulder harness at this time. Thank you.
United 89, taxi November Alpha to the ramp, cross runway 15 right at November.
November Alpha to the ramp, cross 15 right at November.
Boston Tower, Delta Tower 41, are ready to
Alright, the ignition automatically engages at 12% N2.
Air Transit 403, welcome to Boston. Continue Romeo November, cross runway 4 left, hold short runway 15 left.
Romeo November, cross 4 left for the 15 left.
Yeah, no, Sir Skidmore, no, I know you were serious.
3941, were you calling for push or taxi?
And I was serious too. It's okay to be embarrassed. Lots of learning on VATSIM takes place by trial and error. It is okay to mess up.
November, Bravo, Kilo.
What's not okay is to intentionally disregard instructions. What's not okay is to make mistakes and then not learn from them. If you're going to make a mistake, learn from it.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Absolutely. Alright, warning panels off. Climate control can go back on to normal. And we can set the temperatures back to normal.
5010, runway 4 left at Charlie, cleared for takeoff.
Flight control check. Again, we'll hit system twice, but yeah, we talked about on the first leg that these little indicators don't move yet, so we'll just kind of use our imagination, but obviously we're going to check full forward, full center, full back center, left aileron center, left aileron center, right aileron center, left rudder center, right rudder center. And one day I'm sure those indicators will work. Flaps 15, make sure that the indicator does go into flaps 15. Trim takeoff should be toward the bottom of the green range, and we're going to go a little bit higher than the bottom of the green range since we are slightly lighter for leg 2 than we were for leg 1. Let's go ahead and get the passenger briefing. Again, slight bug on this thing. For the second leg, you do have to hit these twice. Just a little bug.
Welcome aboard the Citation CJ4.
Air Transit 403, give way to the Delta Airbus A320, right to left on Bravo. Then you can taxi November, Bravo, Echo to the ramp, cross runway 15 right.
Let's look at the taxis to runway 9. We'll figure we're going to be either Alpha or Bravo. Around to Kilo and then that way probably. Something like that. We'll see what they say, but something along those lines. We'll go ahead and get the taxi light on. On the tune page, yeah, we do have our departure frequency is already preset.
You're going to stay on 4 left.
That's okay, thank you.
And number 737 Foxtrot Victor, say altitude.
We're passing
taxi light. Oh, I didn't. For some reason, I got the beacon light off earlier. I think when I tried to get the strobe light off earlier, I got the beacon light off. So I got the beacon light back on now. All right.
513, continue Romeo November, cross runway 4 left, hold short runway 15 left.
Let's go right to just not run these guys over.
And hold shorter 5 left, United 513.
Oh, we got another guy not to run over. All right. We'll do our best.
To release your lap belt, depress the latch release on the top portion of the bundle. To release the shoulder harness, unhook the metal.
Tower Citation 5, report out to Victor information, Yankee, ready to taxi.
Because of the possibility of unexpected turbulence, please keep your
Number 514 Delta Victor, runway 9er, taxi via Bravo Kilo, Bravo Kilo Mike, cross runway 4 left at Kilo.
Alright, Bravo, Kilo, Mike, and cross 4 left at Kilo, 54 Delta Victor.
Pull the mask down to the full length of the tubing and place it
Inbound Sky Division 33 with the Yankees, Fox 7 for taxi.
by pulling the elastic straps.
Fox 7 Foxtrot Victor, wind to 050 at 10, runway 4 left.
An emergency exit is located
Actually,
on the right side of the aft cabin.
stand by. I'll call you back for your landing clearance. Who was calling for taxi?
Division 33, 5-7.
Alright, there we are in Bravo.
Delta 5733, runway 9er, taxi via Kilo, short of Bravo.
I feel short of Bravo, Delta Division 33.
And we'll expedite the taxi just a little bit here, guys.
By stepping through the opening onto the wing and continue forward.
We'll do a, let's do a brake check real quick. Before we go expediting anything, let's make sure our brakes work. They do. Okay.
If you can just extend your downwind out a couple more miles so I can get these.
I know. Oh, we can get Pito and static. Did I miss anything else?
Disregard.
Well, town number 77 Motor Victor, are you going to call our base if you want us to make our base turn?
Life vest locations are placarded near your seat.
If you just give me about another mile and a half, you should be fine. I've got 2 planes that are going to cross the runway right now. Or actually just 1 plane.
Okay, roger.
Weather. Nope. Let's get weather. And we'll get the terrain on the secondary map.
Buckle and tighten the strap. Inflate the life vest after exiting the plane by pulling down on both red tabs. If the life vest fails to inflate, blow it to the manual inflation tubes attached to the vest. For information on the
We're still going eastbound? Yeah, okay, good.
Delta 5733, continue Kilo, hold short 4 left.
Kilo, short 4 left, Delta Division 33.
Consult your flight crew.
Delta 3941, wind 050 at 10, runway 9er, cleared for takeoff. Jack 7 Foxtrot Victor, wind 050 at 10, runway 4 left, cleared for the option.
Go for the option 4 left, Foster Victor.
Alright, so Bravo makes this big turn.
Delta 3941, wind 050 at 10, runway 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 9er, Delta 3941.
Got a plane up ahead of us. We'll kind of slow here. We're looking for a left turn onto Kilo. So we do kind of need to see probably following that guy.
November 514 Delta Victor. There is a Delta 737 on Kilo. Follow him to the runway.
All right, we'll follow Delta 54 Delta Victor. All right, so that is, where are we? Yeah, we're on Alpha, or that's Alpha over there. This is Bravo, and that is indeed Kilo. This is Echo, probably. Yeah, that's Echo, so that next one is indeed Kilo, so that's the guy we need to follow.
Delta 5733, cross runway 4 left at Kilo.
Crossing 4 left at Kilo, Delta Division 33.
Delta 3941, connect departure, good night.
Alpha departure, Delta 3941, thanks for the help.
Interestingly, I believe that we got cross runway 4 left in our initial taxi instructions. Tower 514 Delta Victor, I believe you did give us cross 4 left, correct?
I'm about 99% sure as well, but in case we didn't cross runway 4 left to kilo.
All right, we'll cross 4 left to kilo, 5-4 left to Victor. So, interestingly,
Boston Tower, Canada
he gave us cross 4 left in the initial taxi instructions, and I'm almost certain that he did. By the time we got down here, he did have a plane doing a touch and go.
November 5,
So he...
Delta Victor, runway 9er, line up and wait.
9er, line up and wait, 5-4 Delta Victor.
Canada 860, clear.
But he had an aircraft holding it in short for that traffic ahead of us, and then when he gave us the follow, that by default had us holding short also, which is kind of interesting.
Roger, copy all that. Squawk 1326 at Canada 860.
Canada 860, squawk, read back correct information. Yankee current, strict 9 for departure call for taxi.
Call for taxi information, Yankee runway 09er, Canada 860.
Shock 7 Foxtrot Victor 1050 at 10, runway 4 left, clear to the option.
Clear to the option 4 left, Foxtrot Victor.
He did give us a line up and wait. I'm just going to wait for that Delta to clear out, so I don't get blown off the back of the runway by him. We'll go ahead and get the strobes on. We'll get landing lights on once we have our departure clearance.
Boston Tower number 70, Foxtrot Victor.
We'll engage toga mode, although that is only going to activate the flight director. It's not going to actually advance the throttles.
Delta 5733, connect departure, good night.
Departure will see next to Delta 5733.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and get the tune page set so we'll be ready to...
1050 at 10, runway 9er, clear to take off.
Alright, clear for takeoff, runway 9er, 5-4 Delta Victor. Alright, advance the throttles, engines respond normally and symmetrically, no warnings. We'll pop it into takeoff mode all the way up. Airspeed's alive. There's V1, V2, rotate. Oh, get the thing up in the air.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Yeah, we got this on leg 2 last time as well.
Don't sink.
We are not sinking.
Don't sink. Don't sink. The first transport is away.
Alright, so we're above 1,000. We'll go ahead and get the flaps in. Autopilot. Nav mode. And flight level change. And we'll shoot for 240 knots. And we'll make sure that it's L Navitus to claw. There we are.
Citation 4 Delta Victor, connect Boston departure, good night.
Alright, go ahead to departure, 5-4 Delta Victor, see it.
And November 737 Foxtrot Vic.
Altitude.
Boston departure, citation 514 Delta Victor, 4,500 for 5,000.
Citation number 514 Delta Victor, Boston departure, radar contact, climb maintain 10, 10,000.
10,000, 10,000, 514 Delta Victor. Alright, we had to pull the throttles because we were leveling off. Now we'll get it into 10,000, back into flight level change mode. Back to 240 knots. And back into climb setting. There we go. think we're good.
Delta 5733, Boston Center's on 134.7.
Schmoses is with us. Thank you very much for the follow, Schmoses. Appreciate you being here. We're flying the Working Title CJ4 mod. We normally do radio-based navigation on this channel, but we're also doing the Wings Over New England training flight series with the Boston Virtual ARTCC, and this stretch in the mid-teens here, we're doing IFR 16 and 17 tonight. And this stretch of flights in the mid-teens all kind of focus on RNAV procedures. So we're going ahead and break in the mold of the channel, which we do from time to time anyway. But we're flying here an RNAV-capable jet with an FMC, not something you'd ordinarily see here on this channel, but certainly happy to do it for you tonight. And the working title mod of the CJ4 for Flight Sim 2020. Just departed out of Boston. We're heading over to Rutland Airport, climbing on the Highland 5.
Altitude.
Good evening, Boston approach, Canadian Express 219 with you.
Canadian Express 219, Boston approach low.
And coming up on our cruise altitude of 10,000.
You can expect ILS 4 right approach.
So there we are.
Right approach, altimeter 2987, Canadian Express 219, thank you.
Leveled off at 10. Going to run it up to 300 knots, and then we'll pull the throttle back to stabilize it at 3. No auto throttle in this plane, so we do have to manually manage the speed. Are we in? We're well above freezing, so no anti-icing needed at this level. Alright, we'll go ahead and start pulling throttles back here. 305 is the never exceed speed at this altitude, so we can run it up right up to 300, and then we'll try to find a throttle setting that stabilizes it there. It's going to be close enough, probably. At cruise. Go ahead and get the belts off. We do have a discontinuity after Manchester because we don't know specifically.
Altimeter 29901.
29901, 514 Delta Victor. We don't know specifically how we're getting from the end of our filed route to the beginning of our approach. We actually need to go ahead and do a briefing at Rutland. (200) at 3, 10 statute miles, light rain, overcast at 10,000, temp 16, 29er, 89er. So it looks like the RNAV to 19 is going to be fine since the wind is 200 and runway 19 is pretty well lined up with that anyway. And we're going to have to slow it down a little bit. Plane's about to yell at us if we go any faster. Approach citation 514 Delta Victor. We got the weather at Rutland requesting RNAV Zulu runway 19er.
And November 4 Delta Victor, that'll be on request with the next controller. I'll get you over to him and you can just let him know.
What's up? Roger.
Citation 4 Delta Victor, Boston Center on 134.7. Have a good night.
34-7, we'll see you at 5-4 Delta Victor. 347. Bonk. I love that shorthand there. The same way I read it back. 34-7. 347, and that's all you gotta do. Boston Center, Citation 514 Delta Victor 10,000. Get the weather at Rutland, looking for RNAV Zulu, runway 19 if it's available.
November 514 Delta Victor, Boston Center. Sure, you can expect that. Just be advised, I'm closing about 9 minutes. I'm not sure if I can actually give that to you. We'll see.
Yeah, no problem. I technically have credit for this flight already, so just doing it for demo purposes. No way. No worries either way.
All right.
No way. No worries either way. Skipped a couple words there, but you know. Now, in case he's got to go, just keep in mind we're supposed to fly the full approach from Gitgee, and then we are supposed to do the mist. So let's go ahead and do a full briefing on this approach. 1500 and then 57 to Yogim, and then we are supposed to enter the hold at Yogim.
November 809191, our left engine.
Inbound 197, outbound 017. 5 nautical mile legs.
Just want to tell you that.
Number 809991. Yeah, I'm going to be closing here in 8 minutes, so you're on your own for that. So, radar service terminated, squawk VFR for exchange for you today.
Squawk VFR, radar frequency terminated. Have a great evening.
Going through some pretty good clouds here, guys.
7639, I'm closing up here, so radar service terminated, change to live frequency approved.
Switching over to advisory desk 7639.
Alright, so he's closing up. We're going to go ahead and presume
16, same for you, I'm closing up, radar service terminated, change to
that he's going to give us, he would have given us direct to Gitgee after Manchester, so we're going to go ahead and put that into the FMC now.
Delta 3941, Dr. Unicom, have a great night, thanks for ACC.
Alright, we'll see you later.
Yes, you will.
Is that a threat? And then cleared for the approach. So that means the hold at Gitgee.
Change to advisory approved.
We're asking your top base to those 733 KBOS.
November 8125, connect Boston's approach 133.0. He'll stay open for you.
At the hold at Gitgee.
Number 8125, connect Boston approach 133.0.
133.0, thank you.
So let's get that in there. Index.
And November 514 Delta Victor,
hold.
unfortunately I got to close up here. Radar service terminated, change to advisory frequency approved. Have fun with the rest of the flight.
Alright, change to advisories, 514 Delta Victor, we'll see it. Gitgee.
Aircraft Boston Center is now closed.
Okay, Gitgee is the one we want. It's going to be $194 and right turns.
Mr. Bush, good evening. This is Delta 565, gate Alpha 17. Could you give me a voice check, please?
And 5 nautical mile legs. It's going to automatically do a teardrop entry. I'm going to go to the tune page and go 22.8. Alright, and we're going to fly that at 6,000 feet. Actually, see if we can do this. Legs page. Let's see if we can do this. VNAV. Has it got a top of descent in there for us? It does. Okay, good. So we don't have to start descending just yet. Alright, so we've got the hold entry at Gitke. We didn't have to manually put that in, but it is going to do a teardrop. We're going to be coming at it from kind of like this angle, and the teardrop would be 30 degrees offset, and then a turn in the direction of the hold to join the inbound hold course. So that is correct. On the second page, the north up plan mode is not meant to be a plane following mode, but I like it to have. I like to have it there, so I'm just going to manually advance it forward. We'll go MFD advance, and we'll just hit next waypoint here for a few, and I'm going to actually zoom the map in just a little bit so it's not so cluttered. But we can kind of see what it's going to do. It's going to have us descend pretty close in, and then join that hold there at Gitke. As soon as it enters the hold, we can have it exit the hold because we're only using the hold for the course reversal, and then we'll fly that approach. So let's assume he would have said after Manchester, clear direct Gitke, and cleared for the RNAV Zulu approach runway 19er. Because that's all he has to give us. There's no other instruction he needs to give us. Well, if we're cleared for the approach, we're cleared to the lowest altitude on the approach. That's 2,900. Actually, the lowest altitude is the minimums. I can't remember. I think we might be. We might qualify as an LPV plane here, but we're just going to go ahead and set the minimums at 2150. LNAV VNAV with a decision height of 2150. Activate that. And that is now actually the lowest altitude we've been cleared to. We'll go ahead and spin it down there. Won't actually go to 2150, but we can set it to 2200. Oh, Crazy Canuck was our approach controller tonight. Says, thanks for flying in and out. Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Appreciate the service as always. You guys in Boston are always a class act. And Canuck, I don't know if you're going to be able to attend Flight Sim Expo. I know that Boston Virtual ARTCC is the group that principally puts on Flight Sim Expo. But I'm definitely planning on being out there in person, and hope that you are too, and get a chance to say hi and thank you in person. Oh, well, your username makes sense. Of course, I didn't know if that meant you were still in Canada at the moment, so they're not going to let you cross the border. That's a shame, man. Hopefully catch you at the next one. Now, since we're right at 10,000, we're cruising along at 289 knots. As soon as we get ready to start our descent, though, we're going to have to pull it down to 240. We'll be ready for that. Let's make sure we've done a full briefing on this approach, by the way. We got the legs page. The missed approach is 1,500 and then 5,700 to Jogim. I think we checked that in the legs already. Let's just double check it. Yeah, 57 and hold at Jogim. Okay, good. Back to the legs page. Let's go ahead to performance and do our V-speed calculation. Performance and approach. The predicted outside air temp at Rutland, I think we said 17? 16, okay. So we'll put that in. 16. Rutland will go next. 13 and 6. We'll send it. Alright, there's no frequency to note because it's a GPS approach. 194 is the course. We'll make sure that that sets itself. We did set the minimums. We're going to call it 2200 round figures. The forecast wind we know was a slight right to left, mostly down the center line though, wind 2003, and it's only 3 knots anyway, so no wind to speak of really. And the ceiling we said was 10,000, so as soon as we descend through this layer that we're in right now, we shouldn't have any visibility issues. 10 statute miles and overcast at 10,000. Missed approach is a right turn that we'll make sure that the FMC does for us, but we will verify that it does make that right turn down at the bottom if we go missed, and of course we know for the purposes of this exercise we're going to go missed. And then if we do land, well, a little slightly fast here. Yeah, there we go. And like I said, at 305 is the never exceed speed. I think it gives you a couple knots buffer there, so get up to about 307, 308, starts yelling at you. But assuming we land successfully runway 19er, it would be a left-hand turn off to the ramp here. And Rutland, by the way, a non-towered field. So we can see up here it is in magenta, so we would not have a control tower to get a landing clearance. We would simply be handed off to 22.8 anyway. And then they would say report cancellation on the ground or missed approach this frequency. So for purposes of this exercise, you would switch over to 22.8, you'd give your pattern entry, or your position report, and then you'd switch back to center after you initiate that missed approach. So we'll talk through that. Talk through the communications as we get there. Still 34 miles from Gitke, so got a couple seconds. Did we have anybody that was still waiting on raffle tickets? Yep, Red Warhawk 96 put in for 5. So those of you new to the channel, we do 2 ongoing raffles on this stream. The first is the Alphabets points raffle, those points that you accumulate at the bottom of the chat panel. Little button tells you how many you have. 1,000 gets you 1 entry. 5,000 gets you 6 entries. So you can cash those in at any time, but it's to your advantage to save up for that 5,000 threshold, get 6 for the price of 5. Not going to pull that next raffle until the end of September, September the 29th. So you've got some time to save up. But certainly if you hit that 5,000 threshold, go ahead and cash those in. The second raffle that we do, and again, we'll pull the winner on September the 29th, your entry is made by virtue of being the closest predictor to our vertical descent rate upon wheels touchdown. So once we get established in the pattern, and remember guys, we are going missed the first time we fly this approach tonight. So we will not get those predictions from you until the second time we're commencing this approach. Oh, did I give you 5 instead of 6? You're correct. Sorry about that. But once we commence this approach the second time around, we'll go ahead and start getting your predictions for the vertical descent rate at the moment the wheels touch. And of course, we've always talked about on this channel that is not the end-all, be-all of whether you made a good landing or a bad landing. You know, you want to be at the right speed, right configuration, aligned with center line, no vertical loading on, lateral loading on the gear, and within the touchdown zone. But given those factors are met, we do try to, well, we will sacrifice a little bit of pavement to grease it on there for you if we have the pavement to spare. But whether it's a low number or a high number, the key is the prediction. And the closer you are to the actual, better your chance of winning. If you're the closest, we'll give you an entry into our second raffle, again, that we pull on September the 29th. All right, we're going to start pulling the power down now because we got to, below 10,000, we got to be at 240. So before we start that descent, really, we ought to be nice and slow. Let's pull it full idle here. Let's actually get a little bit of spoiler in. Okay, there we go. So there we're at 240. A little bit of power back in now. Go ahead and get the seatbelt lights on.
May I have your attention, please? The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please fasten your seatbelt and shoulder harness at this time. Thank you.
Alright, so down we go. And as a matter of fact, now that we're essentially getting ready to join the approach, I'm going to slow it down even further to about 210. We'll go ahead and get the passengers briefed for landing. Again, second flight in the same session. Just a little bit of a bug with the thing. You do have to select that twice.
May I have your attention, please? We will be landing shortly. Please turn off all portable.
Now, we won't be landing shortly because we are going to go missed, but, you know, if you're truly planning for a missed approach, then you don't obviously ordinarily know that going in. So we're going to brief this as though we are going to, as though we're going to land this thing. Again, we'll go ahead and, like I said, once you're on an intercept, you know, once you're kind of in the terminal area for your arrival, I try to get it down to about 210, and then once you're intercepting the approach course, take it down to about 170. So I've actually just got it at full idle here, and we're letting the vertical path kind of just glide us down to 210. And then we'll just continue to let the speed bleed off until we get down to about 170. What was the altimeter? 29er, 89er. Let's go ahead and make sure that that is set. All right. So I don't think we ever turned the logo and landing lights off. No, we didn't, so that's good. Briefing's done, speed's done. Yeah, we're pretty good here. That should be 6,000, or really between 6,000 and 5,700 at Gitki. And remember, it is going to do this hold entry here, but we're gonna pop it right out to exit the hold, just because we're only using the hold in order to join that approach course. Okay, and the FMC does correctly indicate that we can fly this as low as 5,700, which is correct. 5,700. 48 at Lekik. Alright, speed is starting to bleed off now. Okay, it is doing that hold entry in the form of a teardrop. So it should do this, more or less, and then that way. We'll go ahead and get flaps 15 and power to 170. We're watching the performance of that teardrop turn to make sure that it does it accurately. There it goes. It's starting to make the right. I'm not touching it. This is all through LNAV. Alright, we are going to instruct it to exit the hold when it gets there. Bonk. Rutland traffic, citation 514 Delta Victor's on the RNAV Zulu runway 19er approach. We're entering the hold at Gitgee. We will be inbound this time around Rutland. All right. Power to maintain 170. Missed approach altitude again, 57 for when we get there. Pretty much going to engage approach mode as well. No, no, it's a VNAV, it's a GPS approach. There might not be. Okay, there we are. Pretty area. Runway in sight. We'll still fly the approach by the book, though. All right, 5,700 at Gitgee, and then 48 at Lekig. We're just going to kind of keep half an eye, make sure the FMC does the right thing here. Laterally, it did that teardrop turn perfectly. And we're going to keep 170 until SITBO. And then we'll slow to V approach and then VREF. And then remember, we are going missed at 2150, so 2200 essentially. All right, Lekig, it should be 4800. Okay, it's got it. We're descending, so we're going to pull some power out. You see the speed, I didn't pull the power out when it recommenced the descent, and so the speed kind of ballooned up a little bit, but now I'll power it back down to 170. The other thing we can do, descending on the glide path now, we can go ahead and get the gear out. That added drag will slow us down, and then we'll add a little bit of power back in and keep that 170. Lekig should be 4,800 or above, and it's at 5,200 now, so we're looking good there. I'm just going to advance the map on the right-hand side just a little bit. All right, after Lekig, we're going down to Sekra. It says 3,900. That is correct. And then 29 at Sitbo. Now, since it has armed glide path, or it is not armed glide path, but it is following glide path, That should mean that it is safe to use the altitude knob to set the missed approach altitude at 5,700.
Altitude.
I know. It seems counterintuitive. But once that GP is active was the word I was looking for, not armed, by the way. Once that GP is active, you can go ahead and set that missed approach altitude without worrying about it. 4 days here. How are you, man? Sitbo is a 6-mile final to the runway. Rutland traffic, citation 514 Delta Victor is about a 6-mile final for runway 19er at Rutland. We will be going missed for training purposes. Alright, coming up on a 5-mile final. Refs were 113 and 106. We'll go ahead and get down to BREF. Get ready to fly this thing. Below the 160, we can go and get landing flaps out. We'll presume that we have our clear runway. Gears down to green, landing flaps set, landing clearance received, it's non-towered. And missed approach altitude is set. We're going to go ahead and get autopilot and yaw damper off. We are not continuing. We are going around. So we'll engage toga. Flaps 15. Get it back into climb. Yeah, we can. Gonna hand fly it. We can go autopilot, LNAV, light level change. I'm going to set it to 210. Above 200, get the rest of the flaps in. And I've already knocked it out of takeoff and into climb. We can even probably knock it into a higher end of the cruise range, because we're not climbing at our full speed. We're climbing at 210. So we're going to climb at 210. And we're going to level it off at 5,700. So this is the point where you'd switch back to center frequency and goes Boston Center, citation 514 Delta Victor. Missed approach. We are flying a published missed on the RNAV Zulu 19 at Rutland. Alright, 514 Delta Victor, fly the published missed. Report established in the hold. And say intentions when able. Alright, published missed. We'll report established and say intentions when able. 514 Delta Victor. And I did forget to add that extra fuel. So now we're kind of fuel critical. Whoopsie. Yeah, this did indeed just get interesting. Yeah, so those joining late, we burned more fuel than we planned on for leg 1 because we were at a lower altitude and lower airspeed than what my spreadsheet calculates. Jackassery with us. Well, we might be about to see some jackassery here. And we're a little bit heavy on the left side. So let's just start moving it over. So because leg 1 was lower and slower than what my spreadsheet calculated, we did wind up a little bit short of fuel after leg 1, and then I forgot to add that fuel back in before we took off for leg 2. So this did just get interesting. Yeah, at this point, so what we are supposed to do is go fly a lap of that hold. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna basically, we should enter that hold by the same process that we did before. We should let the FMC kind of do it. But we're going to let it establish and hold, and then we're going to go immediately back to that same RNAV approach, and pray we have enough fuel to do it. We probably do not. And we probably don't have a closer field. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. We're going to bail on that missed approach, and we're going to just kind of put ourselves back, heading toward the initial approach fix, because we're not going to make it. Let's get departures and arrivals. Yep. The RNAV 19 Zulu. Execute. And we're going to go to legs. And we're going to go direct to Gitki. And execute. And LNAV. Cancel the fuel transfer. And we're going to go into VNAV mode. And 2100. I think we just lost our engines.
autopilot.
This might not end well, guys. What's the best glide speed? I have no idea. No idea, and I don't think we're going to make the runway. Oh, gear is still down. So that was a mistake, but that's... Well, but I don't think they'll go back down, though. That was a mistake, leaving the gear down, but at this point, I think it's probably a good thing.
Altitude.
Yeah, I know.
That wasn't flying. That was falling with style.
I don't know how much style it's going to be either.
Minimums.
Continuing. Can I get my raffle numbers in? I'm a little late for that, guys. Well, I was aiming for this field here. Let's make it over the road. It's gonna hurt.
Velocity 1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
No, we've got no brakes either. Well, it's not the worst ending to a stream I've ever had. It's kind of the stupidest because I'm the idiot that didn't that stood there and said I had to check my fuel and then forgot. Oh, well. All right, well, I think what we would want to do then is I think we would want to go ahead and repeat number 17 anyway. That's fine. We can still finish these up by the end of the year. Yeah, so Downwind Sim joining late. What happened was we overburned our fuel in leg 1 because my spreadsheet calculates for, cruising up in the flight levels at 450 knots, and we were cruising at 25,000 feet at 300 knots. So burned significantly more than what was in the spreadsheet. And I even said after I touched down and checked the fuel in ETA, I was like, oh, well, we're later than we expected to be, and we burned more fuel than we expected, so we need to make sure we add that fuel back in for leg 2. And then it didn't. Lives were saved, said somebody, Red Warhawk. I don't know if they were or not. Maybe some of us. Maybe a few of us. I mean, if you were sitting in the back of the plane, maybe you got... Yeah, exactly. All right, well... At least you got to see one good IFR flight in the Wings Over New England training series, and you got to see about 2/3 of another one. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and repeat number 17 the next time we do these Wings Over New England flights, just to just get a good one in the books for you. Anyway. We do appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us, even though the ending wasn't ideal. 4-day was on that water ditch crash as well in the 727. Yeah. Now, we did have a successful off-airport landing in the Cessna 152. We had to put it down on the field. Again, doing these Boston virtual ARTCC Wings Over New England flights. So we've had a couple of these engine outs. Oh, the DC-3. When did I do a water ditch in a DC-3? I don't remember that one. Goodness, now I'm forgetting crashes even now too. I must have hit my head on that one. I don't remember it 4-day. Anyway. So yeah, those of you who are new to the stream, what we normally do on this channel is radio-based navigation. So we don't ordinarily fly planes that have flight management computers and all that fancy schmancy automatic navigation that we have in these jets. So what we normally do is all that radio-based navigation, VOR tracking and NDB. Bearing tracking and that sort of thing. So that's what we mostly do on this channel. And we fly for you typically on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 2300 Zulu time. So that's the normal way of things. You can check out the full show schedule if you'd like down underneath the About tab, underneath the picture window there. We've also got that full show schedule published on our Facebook and our Discord server. If you want to know what's coming up in the short term, we update you on our Facebook and our Twitter pages. We're Slant Alpha on both of those. And then, like I said, that full show schedule down underneath the About tab. Over on our YouTube channel, we archive all of our flight broadcasts, and in particular, we've got some playlists for these Boston Virtual ARTCC Wings Over New England flights. So we'll add this one to the collection, even though the 1 out of 2 was successful. Hopefully there was some value in seeing the execution of number 17, although, again, we'll just go ahead and do that one over again with enough fuel to complete it this time. So that'll be coming up soon. We'll go ahead and adjust the schedule accordingly here in just a little bit. But also on that YouTube channel, we've got some VATSIM tutorials. If you ever wanted to know what to say to air traffic control, or if you needed to get some help in how to put together an IFR route or a VFR route plan, or read US VFR sectionals, or if you needed to know what we meant when we said Slant Alpha, Slant Golf, Slant Lima, all those silly codes that we speak in the aviation world. There's some tutorials over there. A playlist called VATSIM Tutorials And you can even see a tutorial on the flight time and fuel estimate spreadsheet that failed so miserably tonight. Although, like I said, it's optimized for the normal flights that I do, hour and a half hops at high altitude, high cruise efficiency. So just didn't have a factor in the spreadsheet to account for the fact that we were at half our normal altitude and 2/3 of our normal speed. So say la vie, live and learn, guys. Anyway, we hope that you'll stop back and see us. We also do some VATSIM air traffic control. I am a tower-rated controller in the Washington ARTCC, so you will occasionally see VATSIM air traffic control on this channel. And a matter of fact, on Sunday, we've got some air traffic control coming up for you. Just to let you know, the next couple, we will be back with you on Friday, praying that the fuel selector in that Mooney Ovation is going to be fixed, but have no ETA on that. Didn't get any kind of answer from Asobo, didn't get any kind of answer from Coronado. So not really sure. Plans on Friday are up in the air, but Friday the 3rd at 7 p.m., we're hoping to dust off that Mooney Ovation and fly it for you, but we'll see. Maybe we'll take another shot at this IFR-17 here instead. So not really sure what we're going to fly for you on Friday at 7 p.m., but we will be here in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, back on the VATSIM network, just a couple days from now at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 2300 Zulu Time. Then on Sunday, as previously mentioned, we're going to be doing some air traffic control. It is the Lake Day Adventure, as hosted by the Washington ARTCC on VATSIM. They're going to feature Roanoke, Lynchburg, and Smith Mountain Lake as the featured fields for that event. And that'll be on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, so that's 2200 Zulu Time. I actually have that incorrect on the schedule. We'll fix that for you. But 2200 Zulu Time, 6 p.m. on Sunday the 5th, and that means we'll be off on Monday the 6th, which is normally a flight stream night for you. So those are the next couple coming up. Again, that full show scheduled down underneath the About tab. And so we'll probably just revise the Friday plan to repeat this IFR-17 for Wings Over New England, and then Sunday is, of course, that Lake Day Adventure air traffic control stream. Do we have a rainbow coming up here? Is it like rainbow comes down from the heavens to shine the light on our survivors of our crash here? All right. Yeah, it was still an entertaining evening this 4-day. It was a lot of fun, and that's a great plane to fly. That working title mod for the Citation CJ4, and of course the working title group now is officially contracted to Asobo, and many of the improvements they've made, are going to eventually work their way into the core sim. So it's a great, fun plane to fly, and maybe, like I said, we'll give it another crack on Friday and finish that IFR-17 up and do it right, maybe with a proper amount of fuel. All right, guys. Well, thanks a bunch for hanging with us. Hope that we will see you again on Friday, and hopefully with better results. I do ask that you stay tuned, though. We are going to send you over to another one of our favorite flight sim streamers, and we're going to send you over to our friend Mustafa. He's flying that PMDG DC-6, as he typically does on Wednesday nights. So we'll send you over to him. Do show him lots of love and tell him Slant Alpha says hello. And do enjoy his stream. He's going from Long Beach to Monterey, and looks like he's just getting up into cruise. So again, he's in that PMDG DC-6, which you've seen us fly a handful of times on this channel. So go over and say hi, hang out with him, and he's pretty darn skilled in it. I'm envious of his skills in that DC-6. So I may study him just to kind of pick up some additional tips as he does his thing out in California in that classic 4-propeller engine airliner from PMDG. All right, guys. Thanks again. Sorry for the weird results at the end of this one, but it was a lot of fun either way, and it's always kind of humbling every now and then to realize why I don't do this for real, and I only do this sitting here at my computer desk. But was enjoyable either way, and again, up until the part where I completely botched the fuel management, hope that it was useful and educational for you regardless. Focus on what I did right, not what I did wrong. Papa Charlie, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, man. All right, guys. Well, tell Moose I said hello, and we will wrap it up for the night. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Hope that we will see you Friday from wherever we end up. But in the meantime, have a great rest of your week. Be healthy and safe in your own travels and your own adventures, and we will talk to you then.